That's right, we're going to be talking about Anisa Jamha's husband.
Yes! That's all I need to hear to like this guy. Whoa! Is Sean the Black there?
Base?
Where you at, Jamha?
See, this is what I'm talking about. It looks like this young man is having fun. I think that's what people really resonated with on the old content cops.
Say.
Because since I've known you, you've always been
You look so uncomfortable.
The last thing somebody who's going through something like that needs is more eyes on.
What he needs is more empathy. Did you guys know that?
If it works out, then we can do that, and there could always be a charity aspect to it.
They don't actually raise money for charity, and they call it a charity event. I'm grateful to you, iDubbbz, for all this glorious content. Thank you so much. Let's get this party started, guys. Let's check out this content cop made by someone named Cameron Ford F-150. Cameron F305. New content creator. Listen, I don't know if I've ever watched a content cop as like a teenager or anything, or when I watched iDubbbz, I would watch some of his bad unboxing videos. I found some of those entertaining and some of his Kickstarter videos, but I never really got into the content cop ones. So it's probably going to be cringe, but this is also an older style of content. So let's fart it up, daddy-os.
Means something. Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship. Stop it. I'm powerless. No, you have a ton of power. That's exactly what you get for being filthy rich.
Ooh, sounds like iDubbbz is jealous that he ain't filthy rich. Me too, baby.
I don't think anyone deserves that level.
Isn't it always interesting though, the people, like, I understand being like frustrated or jealous if you don't have like tons of money, but like it's kind of weird to be frustrated and jealous for not having a lot of money when you're somebody that has the easy potential to make a lot of money, you know?
Of cruelty or hate whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I'm any better than any of these people that I'm making content about videos.
So weird. He could have just been like, yo man, I'm a little older now and I feel like the content fart videos, they don't really resonate with me as much anymore, you know?
What we do here is go back.
I'm warming up. I'm warming up. The song does hit though. The song's nice. Be rich, me too, dude. I want to be rich too. Tell me if any of the audio is weird. This is so goofy, but it actually does seem to capture like the old essence of it. Because I've watched like some of them post as a teenager. It wasn't necessarily for me all the cringe parts, but I think the biggest part is having fun with it. Ian used to have fun with it, and he was not having fun with it when he was doing the fake one, you know, the Ethan Klein one.
Hey there, folks. I'm your local content cop. I make sure everyone's content is up to par, and if it's not, I will bring them to justice. We've all made content that we're not very proud of. You know, maybe
not me, dude. I'm proud of everything I've ever done. What is happening?
Music for a very controversial project that you might regret, or maybe you went on stream and shouted that America deserved a terrorist attack. I'll spare you any further examples. But on today's episode of Content Cop, our theme is friendship. Today we're going to be talking about a former great on YouTube that has turned into one of the biggest disingenuous, hypocritical, spineless pussies that I've ever seen on this website. That's right, we're going to be talking about Anisa Jamha's husband.
Yes! There it is, dude. There it is. That's our boy. That's all I need to hear to like this guy.
iDubbbz, otherwise known as Ian. Some people call him Ian. I'm going to be calling him Ian. Oh, come on, Cameroon. You're just mad that...
Okay. He's really capturing it here.
He dupes doesn't say the naughty slurs anymore. He's very mature now. I think you need to grow up. That actually...
This guy was very influenced by, This guy was definitely very influenced by, iDubbbz, huh?
Actually has nothing to do with it. I honestly could not care less what kind of words he uses in his videos. Also, that mature...
Yeah, I feel like, dude, again, like, I'm a guy... Like, I wouldn't go back and do the TikTok content that I did, even when I was, you know, even though I was older when I started doing TikTok. But, still, you know, I wouldn't, like, completely disavow everything. I'd be like, yeah, it was kind of cringe. I wish I was a little different, but I wouldn't have, like, a fucking meltdown.
Dirty narrative is complete bullshit. He does damn near everything that he apologized for to this day. Most importantly, we're going to be talking about how dog shit his content is now, but before I get ahead of myself, let me fill you in on why we're here and who we're going to be talking about. If you're very keenly aware of this situation and you just want to get on to the video, here's a timestamp, or you can use the chapter feature on YouTube. Otherwise, let's get into it.
How old is this kid? Does anybody know? Dude, you stop. I know. Listen, you guys don't have to talk about it. I used to be on TikTok. I know. No big deal. Let me tell you something. People on TikTok are getting so sick of the Ethan Klein clips. They're getting so sick of all the Ethan Klein clips. They're getting so fucking sick of it. It's like a little bit funny. They also, people on TikTok hate Ethan Klein. Let me tell you. I think my defense of him, and like posting like clips about it, I think it's had a negative impact on my TikTok career. But nah, I don't care really. I'm really just trying to, I'm really just trying to get more traction on here. That was not what I wanted to do.
Welcome to the Filthy Frank Show.
iDubbbz gained popularity with his collaborations with Filthy Frank & Co., as well as his edgy and offensive humor seen in Kickstarter Crap, Bad Unboxing, and Content Cop. Despite being really funny at the time, his offensive vocabulary would likely not fly on YouTube today.
Oh, it's a single piece of paper that says
nice friendship.
Now let's bring in one of his close friends for over 8.5 years, Ethan and Hila Klein of H3H3 Productions. Their videos together marked some of the most iconic collaborations during that era of YouTube.
Well, guys, just remember, they were like fair weather friends. Which means I guess they were only friends when the weather was nice out or something? I don't really know.
As times changed, so did the creators. Filthy Frank went on to become Joji, Max Mofo, and anything...
Yeah, he just kind of walked away from it. That kind of makes the most sense. I feel like that's the best way to do it. Like, if you're going to move on, just move on without making this big explanation. You know, Ian was so dramatic in his change. I don't even think that... I mean, I don't really remember, but I don't even think H3 was super dramatic. He's like, oh, I'm going to start doing a podcast. Though I could be wrong. But Ian, everything's so dramatic. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to have feelings. But you don't have to tell us all about it. You know, just say it to your wife. You know, you guys don't know all my feelings. And even if I express a feeling to you, I don't usually fucking cry about it. You know, that's the whole point.
Reviews would start their channel, Cold Ones. H3H3 would focus on their podcast, which didn't go without its own controversies over the years, which left iDubbbz to move on and try different types of content like documentaries on enigmatic figures of the internet. As Ian moved away from his old content, he would run into a few of his own controversies, which we will be dabbling into today. But what I really want to nail in here is throughout all of that, H3 always stood by...
Damn, if he actually had made his, if his thing was like actually successful... I'm just not here. If his things were actually successful, he might have looked better coming out of the whole Sam Hyde thing.
Ian, even at the expense of his PR. After his documentary with Sam Hyde...
Because I get it. Sam Hyde's like an actual white supremacist. Like, to be clear. Like, he's a legitimate white supremacist. Like, have you ever seen his stuff? I watched his video being upset with Elon Musk for supporting H-1B visas. It was a wild ride. I understand not wanting to associate with him, although he should have never did, like, try to do, like, some kind of expose video on him.
Ian's content would really start to lose his soul, which we'll get into later, but let's fast forward a bit. Enter Hasan Piker.
Hasan Parker. We think that so that's how you know this guy's not a Papa God fan. He did do Anisa's husband, okay, which I think is great, but Hasan Parker. Say Hasan Parker, because I know it bothers him. And it's so small and subtle. But Hasan has such a big ego, I know it bothers the fuck out of him, you know?
There's the violent pig dog! A hype beast, polarizing socialist streamer, and former co-host of Leftovers, a show on the H3 podcast. Hasan and Ian were very friendly. Everything was fine until the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, which led to a falling out between Ethan and Hasan. More on that later. After a long back and forth, this rift peaked with Ethan's return to H3H3 Productions releasing content nuke Hasan Piker. While Ethan's fans praised it, Hasan's fans and orbiters like Denims and Frogan did not, which drew the attention of Psychopath, Bad, and Banana. Trust me, more on him later. Since then, Ethan has been
we're getting a whole lore thing. I thought this wasn't going to focus too much on that.
Harassed by multiple snark subreddits, had CPS called on his kids, and even had 2 human skulls sent to his house.
Terrible. He really doesn't talk too much about the human skulls. Also, for some reason, like, this transitions in this fight are like weird. When I was doing it yesterday, I had no problems with the transitions, but now they're all transitioning early. I think it's like a bug.
Well, weird. Ian's former editor, Froggy Tonic, whom Anisa, Ian's...
This game has like a lot of weird bugs. I've gotten soft-locked in this game like multiple times. It's actually very strange.
His wife was still publicly engaging with on Twitter, started posting tweets harshly attacking Ethan and Hila with misinformation. When Ethan asked for Ian's support, he chose to stay out of it, until he didn't by choosing to release a dogshit video titled Content Cop H3.
He could have stayed... Listen, he could have stayed out of it with the Froggy Tonic stuff. I just think that, but he really should have gotten into it with the whole, he should have gotten into it when the CPS started to get involved. That's when it got, like, when people started saying shit about CPS, that's when he should have gotten involved, honestly.
With all that out of the way, let's continue. Ian, that one was for you. I hope burping is still funny.
Nice. Is this ever like a transition?
To start, let's look
I
at
like that
Ian's
song.
video, I Miss the Old
That's my favorite iDub song, I guess. I don't even know if it was one, but I
iDubs, and
like
see what
it.
his principles are now that he's above his old edgy content.
I have made some cruel, hurtful content. The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons. I was more.
Here's where we start the overcorrection. You know, you could have just been like, "Yeah, it's not me anymore." Some of it was cringe, but whatever, it's fine. And yes, burping is gross, but farts are funny.
Grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on.
He probably was. Like, hot take? Is that a hot take on that? But he probably was. No, I mean, these people were like not particularly good. I don't understand why the defense.
And
This is
I'm
horrible.
not. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate.
Okay, so content cop videos were apparently bad. Ian doesn't think it's okay to morally grandstand and thinks that content cop videos are hurtful and cruel.
Was he really morally grandstanding? Didn't he make one against like Keemstar and stuff? Like, we're not talking about the top tier, the great people on the internet.
But someone disappeared, huh?
No, he's just his chin disappeared.
Oh yeah, Leafy. Leafy is like a horrific pile of dog shit. Leafy won. I don't think so. Not with those genetics, dude. Like this is right. Like this is Leafy now. Okay. What? I have no idea what. I don't know what this video came up. But this is Leafy now, man. This is somebody that he would have bullied relentlessly back in the day. You know. I don't think he won. Like, Leafy is a big loser. He's just some, like, weird, like, guy who likes to just say slurs and thinks it's funny. And I remember he came back and he tried to do Kick, and then he, like, failed at it. All he could do was say slurs, and he wasn't funny at all. And then he just got chased off the internet after people saw how terrible he looks. So, like, that's the person that you're apologizing to, basically, by like, it's just pathetic.
So instead of changing your content cop format to not morally grandstand or whatever, you do this.
Or just retiring it, just getting older and retiring it. Like, you could look back and go, yeah, some of it was kind of cringe. I wish looking back, you're always, all your past is going to be cringe. This is some advice for you. You are so cringe right now and you just don't realize it. As you get older, you're going to look back and you're going to go, wow, that's cringe. And if you don't do that, then you're not growing as a person. From like 20 to like 30, every year I looked back and went, that was cringe. Even now I look back at myself when I was like 30 and go, some of this shit was cringe. If you're not doing that, you're not growing up. And it's okay to be like, oof, don't want to do that again. But you don't have to disavow yourself wholly. You could just be like, yeah, that's not really me anymore. Some of that stuff was cringe, but then some of it was the environment that was accepting cringe. You know? But, or you could overcorrect like hardcore.
The same thing, but instead of the use of slurs, you just make a hit piece on your friend of nearly 9 years. Then you include people like Denims, who have promoted malicious misinformation that has directly led to in-real-life harassment of Ethan's kids. So are you pro-harassment or are you anti-harassment?
I can recognize that you did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way.
I would make, a couple videos, the content cop and the content deputy, and then I would say, okay, I'm done. For me, it was done. It was not done for the people who watched my videos. It was not done for the person who was being harassed.
I didn't plan on making a content cop on H3.
I don't know, maybe you just lack empathy?
I have always thought that I was an empathetic person. I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability, empathy. It sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32, I've acquired empathy.
This is crazy.
No, Ian. It is pathetic.
My empathy meter's only maybe like a quarter of the way filled up. But
yeah, what a perfect excuse. You haven't filled your empathy meter enough. I'm sorry I fucked you over, sir, but alas, my empathy meter is only 3/4 the way full. Ian, you were 27 while making those videos, but you're telling me all of a sudden over 5 years you just boom again.
Well, listen, I'm guys. I feel like guys, they grow up slow. Guys grow up a little bit slow. It takes them a little while to get where they need to get. So I kind of get it. I feel like it's taken me a while to get to a spot where like I'm a little more empathetic. I don't even think I'm fully there, but still, So I get it, but at the same time, shut up. It doesn't have to be like this super deep thing, It doesn't have to be like so like incredibly intense, and like that's like one of the biggest problems. Like it's so intense. Everything he comes off as so intense. Like everything was like such a massive like pullback from what he used to do.
I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact that you would not have been able to make that content in the post-2020 adpocalypse era of YouTube, given the fact that you were teasing a new content cop before that. But no. It's because you decided to start caring and feeling empathy. Where was all of this so-called empathy in the H3 content cop? You never mentioned CPS in your video, and your veiled attempt at empathy was only sprung by the YouTube apology ratings guy not changing his rating for Ethan's apology video.
Yep, the original end of that video. The original end of the video was supposed to be him, iDubbbz, getting that annoying therapist to change the rating on his Ethan's apology to Cutie Cinderella, and when he couldn't do that, he decided to make everybody say sorry to him.
Yeah.
But I asked him if I hadn't responded the way that I had, how would the video have ended differently? And he said, "Oh, absolutely."
This doesn't make you look good.
I'm playing one more time. This game is actually super buggy and like really bad. The pacing on this game is supposed to be: you go up there, you clear the first wave, then another wave drops down, you kill them, and then the fucking another wave comes down. Instead, everything's just compiling onto itself, and it's actually like very like this game is so unpolished. It's actually does not stand the test of time. It's terrible.
Or caring in any way. It makes you look manipulative.
I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people. That's
that
exactly what you get for being filthy rich.
Ian, you are a massive hypocrite.
And you know what else?
I think that Ian doesn't try to think for himself. Like, I don't think Anisa's like, I don't think like women are these masterminds. I just think that Ian is a kind of a coward, and he lets Anisa think for him. He doesn't give any pushback. And you can't expect one person to be able to really like guide a life. In my opinion, I feel like you need multiple people, like two people. What's my issue with the therapist guy? I feel if you watch the reaction of me reacting to him, he's because he took his video down. He's definitely much more malicious. He's definitely much more malicious than people think. He's like, the whole video comes off as you have to watch it. It rubbed me the wrong way so many different times. You really just have to watch it. That's all I'll say. I think I might have called it like content cop. I think I called it like content. I'll still look it up.
This is massive.
We're gonna take a pause from the H3 drama for a moment and take a look at Ian's changed content. It's fucking
he took his video down.
Dog shit. Unlike Ian, I'm actually gonna try to provide some context here.
I called it Content Cop Psychology in Seattle.
Or whatever. Right?
You have to take a look at it, That's my recommendation.
Would crack well over 1 million views for every video he uploaded since mid-2015.
You guys don't have to hate him just because I don't like him. That was my first fucking interaction, like first time seeing him. But
this was until 2022, after things began to dwindle for him, as his videos went from well thought out comedy videos or goofy bad unboxing videos to ranking playground equipment. To put it simply, this content—
I don't think that there's anything wrong with that transition. I don't think that that's something that makes him look bad at all.
Is boring and genuinely unfunny.
You can get pretty dangerous with swing sets, especially if you're doing it side by side with another person.
And this is—
I just think that he should have committed to that format. He should have just committed to that format. Like, just commit to the new format. Just be like, hey, I'm making new content. This is just what we're doing now. Okay, cool. But instead, he like doesn't get the same views, obviously, and he doesn't commit enough to it to get like an audience change, or make a new channel, or actually try to make a productive podcast. He's trying to copy Ethan too much. He's trying to copy Ethan too much.
It isn't because he's not doing commentary videos anymore. Whenever he does, those suck as well.
My studded leather sash gives me 8 strength and 8 agility, which, no.
Ugh, I fucking hate WoW memes.
Let's do that over again. Why did I say agility? 8 strength and 8 stamina.
It's very evident that Ian has lost a sense of humor.
It's supposed to be a 4 strength, 4 stam leather belt,
Maybe this is a side effect of gaining a quarter bar of that empathy meter, but it feels like he's lost any sense of irony. In this video, he basically makes a pseudo content cop on Carton Arcs. It was very poorly received.
I watched that. It was kind of weird. It was over empathizing. I mean, it was fine, I guess. Like, hey, the guy actually harasses people. I guess so.
It's just very apparent that Ian just doesn't get it.
Yes, it's very easy to call these people unhinged. Another word you can use is disabled. Their brain isn't working.
They're disabled. Everybody's disabled, guys.
Like yours or mine. For some people, they feel like they have to answer the door.
What the fuck? Yes, Ian, responding to someone in public who's talking to you makes you disabled. You're a retard. You're fucking retarded.
Hey! Don't say that.
Disabled. Because you respond to someone in public, you're fucking disabled.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
Yes. Hey. Before you say that people stopped watching because—
I don't like those words. Stop it. Okay.
He stopped doing all the series that he was known for. He tried returning to bad unboxing, but it just felt soulless.
Good craftsmanship. Oh, I like that. I feel like a little pupil. Oh, it's big girl panties. You think I'm gonna wear this? I'm not a large. I'm a medium, homesprung.
Like, he didn't allow people to send in fan
Say homesprung?
mail, probably because he was scared of his own audience.
I've learned a lot since the last bad unboxing.
He just looks a little disheveled there. He looks like somebody who keeps dying in a game.
Number 1, do not trust strangers to send you packages.
Like, nobody cares about the packages that your wife ordered from your Discord on Amazon.
I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of anti-sex work, am I right? Don't let strangers send you packages. How else are you supposed to make money? How else is your wife supposed to make money, dude?
You want to see the whimsical shit that your audience sends you to get a reaction out of you.
I'm Jewish.
The only good piece of content around this era was his collaboration with Max and Chad, not only because it was nostalgic, but because Max and Chad are genuinely funny.
Create a clash. Punching, boxing, fighting. Money. Money? Sponsorship. Okay. Manscaped. Items. Failure. Charity. I was just kidding.
Max and Chad haven't aged one day. Meanwhile, Ian just looked like he got out of rehab for meth. Most underwhelming reunion I've ever seen. If this was Ian from 7 years ago, this would have been a lot less dry. I feel like he's constantly trying to be on his best behavior for the mob. It's very clear the juxtaposition between Max and Chad versus Ian. Ian looks
again like I want to just reiterate. People can change. Like, it's okay that he changed. It's okay that he decided that he wanted to do different content. It's okay that he changed. It's just that he, like, his biggest issue is his massive insecurity. That's what I've noticed. Like, just commit to a change. Like, yes, you're not going to get the same views that you got pre-change. Okay, that's life. But, like, just commit to the change. Stop getting all upset that people aren't watching in great of numbers. Make a change, and commit to it. Like, and stop getting insecure. I feel like this guy compares himself to fucking Ethan Klein all the time, and it makes him like super insecure.
damn near soulless. And as a former fan of iDubbbz, it was hard to come to terms with the fact that Ian just isn't funny anymore, which sucks.
Damn, Ian's not funny anymore. I knew it.
Alpha Bravo, this is Flaming Pegasus. We're out here looking for Deputy Washburn. He's been missing for a while.
There we go. Easy. See how the pacing's better now that I reset it? I do be right sometimes. No idea what the fuck's
Two plays.
Pegasus, I don't give a shit.
Oh, that's right. That rocket's supposed to be pushed.
Before we get on to our video's focal point, I feel it's important to give a bit of context on some people that are pertinent to the situation with H3. First up, we have Sean Damn it, I said people who are pertinent to the situation.
Damn, the Sean DeBlack catching strays, dude.
All of our problems, we would have socialism at this point. If someone just went out of their way and...
I think it's about Destiny. Apparently Destiny would control whether or not we had socialism. That's fucking incredible. Destiny? No Destiny? It's pure socialism. Oh, that's not good.
So first up, we have Frogan.
I will never have any
Hi,
fucking
Frogan.
beef with any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who?
Beautiful Arabic queen, guys. Dude, no fucking shot. Okay.
I hope you get PTSD.
The next day.
You're doing it. Oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope
Base. By the way, this was just out of context, guys. She totally...
you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
Dang.
And they posted it in my head. I'm like, base? Base?
So you can hear she's like, oh, that was based on out of context. Actually, I think that's a good point. I think when it comes to iDubbbz, like, that's a big thing. I think that I don't think he has anything to ground him in reality. I don't think he has like something to ground him positively. Like, there's no anchor. He's just kind of like, what should I do? Maybe it is just a mob that's getting to him. I hate like the woke mob dog whistles because, like, dude, people can just decide to be more sensitive and cool and chill, but Ian's just like flailing around.
A Hasan Orbiter, Twitch streamer, and moderator for Hasan Piker. Other than her close association to Hasan and just being extremely unlikable, Frogan is...
I love Frogan. What?
...notable for being kind of the first domino to this situation. Oh yeah, also, she was twice nominated for Rising Star of the Year at the Streamer Awards. On October 7th, after Hamas's attack on an Israeli music festival, Frogan tweeted this.
Leftists preach and foam at the mouth at the thought of a revolution happening in America, but as soon as one happens in the Middle East, what they're doing is wrong.
After this quite insensitive tweet, Ethan Klein quietly unfollowed her on Twitter, which caused Frogan to have a giant meltdown. She started tweeting a bunch of shit and crashing out on Discord and went on stream and started throwing shots at Ethan Klein.
If you are so fucking close-minded,
not our
you
Ethan Klein,
that the suffering of an Israeli person is valid, then you're lost. And the same goes for Israelis. And again, I say this to them blue in the fucking face.
Fucking kidding me.
Bro,
It's not wrong to think that a terrorist attack against an innocent group of people is gross, especially while acknowledging the many problems with the Israeli government. This would just cause a shit-slinging match between Ethan and Frogan, and before we go further, we need to introduce our next character. Enter Denims!
All right,
He is a much more popular Hasan waiting room, and for whatever reason gets a lot more attention than Frogan, which
probably her boobs.
I'm sure has everything to do with her riveting, groundbreaking commentary.
Even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past, like...
Dude, she's a doctor. What are you talking about? Dr. Tits, dude. Fuck.
15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories. The average age of adults...
Dude, don't say that. Frogan might be a better streamer than Papa. That might be true. Honestly, that might be true. She does make up way better than I do.
Memories is 3.5 years old.
Dr. Titties.
You're not really forming...
All right, that's a weird one.
Memories at 3.
A group including Denims and Frogan hosted a panel at TwitchCon where they created a racial tier list. At the top you had Arab and at the bottom you had...
No, they were just saying that Sabra hummus is bad, and they forgot the part where Sabra also means a Jew born in Israel. They forgot that part. It definitely wasn't a dog whistle. They definitely didn't put Ben Shapiro in the thumbnail, even though he wasn't even considered on the list as some kind of a anti-Jew dog whistle.
Love Sabra. And if you know what Sabra actually means, not the hummus, then you'll understand why it comes off as racist. I wonder who appeared in that tier list.
Person is one of my favorite people, Ethan Klein.
I told you guys to clap.
Thank you, Ethan Klein.
You guys are missing the category for Zionist.
Hey, what's going on, creator here? Thanks for watching, Papa. Thank you, Cameron. So far, so good, man. I like the video. It's solid stuff. More entertaining than an iDubbbz video for sure.
Well, obviously it's Love Sabra, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
That's easy.
Now let me introduce the top of this little pyramid scheme we got.
I don't like hummus personally,
going on here. Hasan Piker. If you'd like a more in-depth history on Hasan, I'd recommend watching this video by June the King. It goes way more in depth into Hasan.
How old is that? Oh, that's only 3 months old.
That I'm willing to go into today, and the link will be...
That's maybe one day. Maybe one day. I'm on that BO, that Hasan BO, that Hasan burnout. You know what I'm saying, dude?
In the description. To briefly summarize Hasan's content, he's an extreme leftist political streamer with breathtaking boots-on-the-ground coverage.
We did it successfully. We stopped Vladimir Putin from invading Ukraine. Or maybe that was never gonna fucking happen. Like I said, it was never gonna fucking happen. They'll be like,
yeah, it did happen though. Just I don't know if anybody knows that it did happen. And then Hasan said, "Hey, cry me a you want your country back? Cry me a river, bitch." Whoa.
Tomorrow, there's a war tomorrow. There's a war tomorrow. And the tomorrow never comes. And when there's no war tomorrow, they're like, you're lying. You're fucking lying, dude. It's gonna happen.
He's also grade A at taking criticism.
I believe you've done a couple videos about how dog shit I am, I think.
Did you watch the videos?
No, of course not.
Yeah, he has a habit of not watching the videos after he gets criticized.
I have a policy of not really watching.
Which it wouldn't necessarily be that big of a deal if he had honest conversation. Like if Willie Mac made a video on him and others, and then he was able to have a meaningful, honest conversation, it really wouldn't be that big of a deal that he doesn't watch it. It's just like, oh, okay, like he's honest, he can take criticism, but he doesn't do that. Everything's about like a narrative spin.
Videos such as that one specifically because it will frustrate me.
I've gotten numb to the criticism.
It'll frustrate me. I don't want to watch criticism of me because it's gonna make me upset. That's fucking awesome. You know what? There's honesty for you, huh?
It's not. As a matter of fact, I seek it out.
I will literally cry.
No. You wanted to debate about a video you didn't even watch.
Why? Yeah, of course.
And he also has this quirk of blaming everything or assuming everyone who disagrees with him has ties to the disgraced political streamer Destiny.
It's 100% like dude. Fucking rabid Destiny fans. Dude.
Rabid Destiny farts.
Dude. It's quite the strange deflection considering he fits that category perfectly. He's
true. He's a fallen Destiny fan. The two of them are fucking built for each other. I'll tell you that much. They literally, honestly, the two of them are like the same person. Hasan just looks more handsome. That's pretty much it. Ethan Destiny just looks gay. I mean, they both seem like they have some sexual pest energy. I mean, right? Hasan classically needs to watch a girl get violently assaulted in order for him to actually think it happened. Right? Picture it didn't happen, guys. Oh, the UN report said that there were mass rapes on October 7th. I have to see it. I have to literally watch it with my own eyes for multiple hours. Guys, I need to see it. He didn't say all that. I'm, of course, being a little silly, but just a little.
He's also known for deflecting criticism by blaming the genocide in Gaza.
Go fucking yell at streamers for not covering sufficiently the ongoing active genocide in Gaza instead of coming in here and fucking chirping at me.
But the main takeaway is Hasan is a socialist grifter and a walking example of a hypocrite down to his lifestyle and actions. Our next character isn't necessarily a friend of iDubbbz, as far as we know at least, but he is a central figure to the situation. Bad Empanada.
Yeah, I think that they're friendly enough. I wouldn't call them friends, right? Like you said, but they're too friendly for my comfort. You know what I'm saying, dude? Too friendly for my comfort, personally.
Is a psychopath that nobody, including Hasan, likes.
I'm never gonna watch a bad empanada video on the stream. I'm just letting you guys know. You're out of your fucking.
And when Hasan Parker doesn't like you, that's something happened.
Mind, okay? You think I want him to write like 700 hours worth of new YouTube essays about how I have wronged him? I don't want that. I don't want that at all, okay? He would perhaps benefit tremendously if I did watch his YouTube videos on this channel, but I'm never gonna fucking do that. I have an official blockade on bad empanada videos on this broadcast while I'm live.
It's funny because even bad empanada still criticizes Hasan Parker. To this day, when he doesn't like him, he goes in like he just fucking says shit. But Hasan likes Bad Empanada. The only reason Hasan started watching Bad Empanada again was because he was criticizing Ethan for him, so he didn't have to actually like really watch the content nuke.
That's number one. And number two, he's not just mean on Twitter. He is a psychopath. He is not just mean on Twitter. He is the most insane person on Twitter.
That is until Bad Empanada started going batshit crazy towards Ethan Klein. Then Hasan and his orbiters started peddling him constantly.
Oh, dude. Okay. Okay, critical support to Bad Empanada has gone up by wide margins now, okay? Oh dude, Bad Empanada went from bad to good empanada. Bad Empanada went from bad empanada to based empanada.
To show a really easy example of why Bad Empanada is a psychopath, here's a clip of him playing a game looking to shoot and kill IDF secretaries. For those who don't know, Israeli-born citizens are required to do mandatory IDF military service, including Ethan's wife, Hila, who was a secretary.
I'd like to pay tribute to Ethan Klein and the new Twitch TOS that declares Zionism. Zionist is a slur. I'd like to pay tribute to him by playing the first in Al-Aqsa video game where you kill Zionist soldiers as a Palestinian resistance fighter. Which is the glider level. Is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like they have
a bunch of Ethan. This guy's so weird.
They're all on a fucking Ozempic binge. They don't understand what's going on around.
What is an Ozempic binge? Like you think that he's overdosing on Ozempic? Is that the claim? I know that you could do that. I mean, but okay.
They haven't noticed me. Where do they keep the secretaries? In here? I'm hunting for secretaries right now. Secretary got...
Another example of this guy just being a fucking peach is when he used out-of-context clips to paint some narrative that Ethan and Hila's children were contracting giardia and other unknown diseases from eating dog shit and trying to paint Ethan and Hila as bad parents. Oh, and of course Denham's reacted to it and promoted the idea of CPS being called through her chat.
Covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit. I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something.
And CPS did end up getting called, which Bad Empanada tried to take credit for. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to list everything else on screen that he's done. Just take a look if you're interested. This final character is also a big part of the Domino's fall.
Yep, and then Denham's Hasan's pants just watched it, and she was like, oh, really? Like she validated it. Like the way that she watched it validated that it happening.
Falling between iDubbbz and Ethan. It's iDubbbz's former editor, Froggy Tonic. Not to be confused with a fighter who was kicked off Creator Clash 2, Froggy Fresh. The reason this...
Which, by the way, was justifiable. This is like the funny part, because like normal people looking at this drama, like me, although can you really be normal if you're this ingrained in it, understand why Froggy Fresh got taken down. I also don't think Froggy Fresh is a bad guy. Like he seems like a good guy. I think a lot of it is that like, people don't necessarily know how much of like an actual legitimate white supremacist Sam Hyde is. But it makes sense for Ian to not involve Sam Hyde from an advertiser perspective, because he is definitely toxic to advertisers. Then again, Anisa's husband tried to like set him up for something, which was also weird. Like he should have just not covered Sam Hyde, but he tried to cover Sam Hyde, which some people are telling me, and I don't really know if this is true, kind of revitalized Sam Hyde's career to some extent, but I don't know if that's true. Might have given more of a mainstream presence. He got dunked on by Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde broke him though, because iDubbbz couldn't even take it like a champ. He could have been like, ah man, you got me. And then everything kind of spiraled from there, right? So I understand why people, obviously Ian's a fucking loser, but it made sense for him to not involve Froggy Fresh. But like, listen, you can't have him be part of it in any capacity. That makes sense. I'm fine with that. But it's just like that by itself was fine. This year, it's fucking crazy. Like, he decided to do this unhinged support of fucking Bad Empanada. Of Hasan Parker. It's just ridiculous.
This guy's relevant is because he kept tweeting heinous shit towards Ethan and Hila, as you can see on screen, all the while Ian and Anisa were openly and publicly interacting with him.
Yeah, but what about Harley training with him and supposedly Sam trained for someone season 3? I don't know. That's a good point. I mean, maybe it's because Harley had more pull, so they were like, okay, we have to let Harley do it. Or I don't really know. That's a good point. But either way, I understand why. I don't remember the timeline of like when the harassment went against Anisa or whatever. I don't really care. But either way, it makes sense to not have him associated with the brand as much as possible. For all we know, behind the scenes, he could have trained Harley, and then advertisers could have been like, "Hey, this guy's a risk. Let's not let that happen again." I don't really know, but I wouldn't doubt it.
What the hell is this?
Is that her last name?
He's taken her last name.
That is pretty crazy.
Testing. Hasan Piker. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Pussy. Testing. Hello, everyone. Henry Handjob reporting live on the scene. As you can see behind me, we have the woods where it's believed disgraced former detective Ian Jamha is residing. We have some major breaking news that he has been identified as a suspect for content uniform malpractice, otherwise known as cum by professionals. Other members of this gang, Socialist Griftorio, is known
cum. I love it. You guys know I like
Hasan Piker, and who can only be described as Grimace from McDonald's. Back to you, Margaret. iDubbbz is very spineless. Along with his hypocritical nature, iDubbbz was too much of a pussy to piss off his new friends instead of defending his close friend of nearly 9 years who was being harassed.
He didn't even have to do anything crazy. All he had to do was say like, "Hey, I've been to his house before. He's good to his kids. I've never seen his kids eating shit. That's all you really had to do. It didn't have to be this big thing. You know? That's all he had to do. He didn't have to fucking guzzle his cum. He didn't have to do anything like that. That's it. People are saying Ryan Beard's here. What's up, Ryan? I think the main reason they kicked Froggy Fresh was him joking negatively about buying Anisa's OnlyFans. Oh, maybe. That's certainly a factor. That makes sense. Again, it makes sense to try not to associate with anybody who associates with Sam Hyde.
Charlie Morenstein of Epic Mealtime recently did an interview where he talks about how he defended Ian and Anisa back during Creator Clash 2. It feels like these are the types of things that you normally do for friends. Of course, the friend I'm talking about is H3 Productions. Ethan and Ela were constantly defending iDubbbz to a fault, I would even argue. You can argue it's fair to say that maybe they didn't want to get involved, and that's fine. But what's not fine is ignoring your friends after they ask you to denounce the egregious behavior of someone who at one point represented you and is currently being signal boosted by you. The clip I'm about to show you is from the episode Snark called Child Protective Services on us.
If you want to hang out with those people and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know, yeah.
Which I'll show. Denims is actually participating in this whole Child Protective Service lie. Child Protective Service is even the worst thing. I mean, she said worse things about you and me. I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that. The last thing I said to Anisa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, "I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody," and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, "Well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?" And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Yeah.
Anisa, Ian's wife, never responded. And what's hilarious about this whole thing is when Frogan was crashing out on stream about Ethan unfollowing her, Anisa was in her chat comforting her saying, "He'll realize what he's saying isn't the best in a week or so."
That's fucking funny. Wait, so they can publicly go and defend Frogan, but they can't publicly for being unfollowed for like literally for just saying horrifically disgusting things about a terrorist attack, but they can't publicly like, "Hey, Ethan, you're in the right here." That's fucking gross.
Cowardice behavior continued until it became pretty clear that iDubbbz probably agreed with what Froggy Tonic was saying, as he talked about it on his podcast.
Ethan's upset with, I think, some of our connections.
No, Ian, it's not your connections. It's people you openly call friends. More on this later, but what a cop-out way to phrase this.
We want to stay out of the drama as much as possible. We don't want to pile on.
Oh, is that so?
He could have been like, "Yeah, we don't want to say that. We don't really want to be part of the drama. We don't want to pile on," but every time we've gone to Ethan's house, they've always treated us nicely, and we've never seen any type of, abusive tendency towards our kids and them eating shit. That's all they had to say. That's all they had to say. Didn't have to be crazy, It didn't have to be crazy, but they couldn't even muster that.
I had a lot of friends when I did my apology that did not fuck with it in the slightest.
Yeah, they didn't agree.
And they still don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. Your apology was pretty useless and dumb. And although he's made some slop, I think Moist Critical had a pretty good take on the apology, which I agree with. I'll link the video in the description as well.
Don't agree with it. And I don't really expect them to come to bat for me or anything if they don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to speak up, period, on any of it.
I appreciate that they don't.
Right here is the core of why I'm showing you this clip. He doesn't agree or doesn't care about what's happening to Ethan and Ela. Maybe he just disagrees with some take that Ethan has on the conflict, like that there should be a two-state solution or that Hamas terrorists should also be condemned as well as the Israeli government. I don't know. Maybe there's some behind-the-scenes shit we don't know about. Maybe he doesn't fuck with Ethan calling people out who encourage harassment against him and his family.
I'm sorry to everyone that I made content cop videos on.
You want to stay out of the drama?
We are friends with Denims.
You did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way.
No, he doesn't need.
This is what a pivotal moment, because also Hasan was pretending that he was above all the slop, even though he's a political slop channel. And yet he joins the video. Why would you do that? That makes no sense to me.
A hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
Even when we don't say something,
Maybe he needs a kiss on his butt.
they think we're saying something.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship.
Pause.
Come on out, Ian. Where you at, drama?
See, this is what I'm talking about. It looks like this young man is having fun. And I think that's what people really resonated with on the old content cops. I think it was the fun that they were having. Or Ian was having, you know? I no way.
Okay. Turns out Detective Washburn is no good. We're looking for a police impersonator. This is Bergen Pegasus. Do you come? Stingray, do you come?
I come.
Sir, have you seen the suspect?
No.
Just calm down, son. It's just a drawing.
That's good.
Okay. I wonder that content cop had to be like work in the making, no? Or do you think that was a spur of the moment? I don't know. I wonder if he was going to release it afterwards. I don't know. Even though he wanted that Ethan Klein cloud for his Creator Clash. Although it didn't exactly seem well prepared, so. I hate this game. I don't want to do this, but it's obnoxious.
Has anybody seen this man?
Have you guys seen this man? Have you seen this man? Don't worry, it's just a drawing.
This happened.
Now, folks, there's a new sheriff in town. Now let's get down to why we're here. My lieutenant just informed me that there's police impersonation afoot, and I gotta bring him to justice. Ian recently uploaded Chan Chen Top on H3. Remember my first point?
I'm sorry to everyone that I made content.
Oh, content cop. I'm like, what the fuck is Chan Chen? I don't know. I'm assuming that's an old meme. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Content cop videos on. You did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way.
Yeah, Ian, you're a hypocrite. Hypocrisy aside, like his other more recent content, I'd like to talk about just how bad this video is. This isn't a content cop. His Cart Narcs video, as bad as it was more of a content cop than this video. This is like an
content cop cart narc. That's more of a podcast episode, you know, because the cart narcs is kind of annoying. He walks around and harasses people until they get fucking pissed about a cart, right? Like, okay, I mean, but I feel like that's more of a podcast conversation. That's not like a whole meaningful fucking thing.
And iDubbbz complains. It's a shitty video about his personal feelings on H3. It's poorly edited, it makes horrible points, it's not funny, and again, it just feels soulless. But despite all of this, it's still his best performing video in 3 years.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the Hasan broadcast coming to you live from a cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live and alive.
And just like that, the 1 minute and 30 seconds of hope that we had for this video is lost. The video immediately derails with this person's inclusion. Kevin. Okay, this video sucks. What are you doing? This is not it. No!
Is this his live stream channel too? Did he live stream this on here? That would be fun. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like he live streamed it here. That's smart. That's a fun idea. Okay.
Oh, denims? No!
Jesus Christ. I feel like I feel a little bad for Frogan. You know? She's just trying to sit at the table with the cool kids. You know what I mean? That's how I used to feel.
Mr. Beast!
Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. The dumb skit aside, this feels like more of a taunt than anything. I'm not sure how this is going to prevent harassment against your close friend, as you say you're so morally against.
We don't condone harassment of
We
any
don't
kind.
condone harassment of any kind.
Cameron, we're all here to see you lampoon the skit. Please, Cameron. There isn't much I can say regarding the skit that hasn't already been said itself. I'm sure you want me to make fun of it further. Yeah, the Fortnite dance was retarded.
Hey! I don't like that word.
Sorry, oh, a token. This just isn't a funny skit.
Jesus Christ, dude. Mr. DeBlack is really he's really taking shots today. It's terrible.
And what baffles me the most about this is that in the past, Ian has made impactful and funny sketches that improved the overall video, but this just falls flat.
If I would imagine
Stop. Stop, dude. Stop. Listen. You guys stop bullying Frogan so much, dude, okay? She's not that bad looking, okay? She's a little heavy, and she probably wears the hijab 50% for her religion and 50% because of her self-conscious. But at the same time, I used to do that too when I was a kid, okay? So I'm just going to die here because I'm actually getting cocked. You know? That's it. I'm getting fucking violently angry right now. You guys don't even understand the level of anger that I have with this game.
This in 2016,
That's
I would have been like,
over.
oh yeah, if I ever do that.
Don't give Frogan that much shit. Not that bad looking, okay? She's a nice, handsome young person. She's like 30, actually. It's all her personality. That's the only reason people don't want to fuck her. It's her personality.
Because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot. It's Ethan.
No, dumbass, it's you, and that fact has become very apparent over the past couple of years. Quite honestly, I should have known that the second you decided any of those tattoos that make you look like a reformed skinhead looked good to you. Maybe it was the LASIK surgery that went a little too deep into your eyes and melted your brain. Maybe Sam Hyde kicked you too hard. Cameron, please stop being a cyberbelly.
I would say that Hasan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Yeah, Hasan has the
I'd say he's pretty well equipped to talk about the topic. Listen, here's all I need to know about Hasan. He's fucking stupid and he's just anti-West. He doesn't support Ukraine. Sorry, pussy, you're a bitch.
Though how the same guy who before this conflict couldn't even locate Yemen on a map.
Doesn't know where Yemen is?
I was just memeing, dude. I was talking about Yemen the day before this. That was his excuse, by the way. I watched his horrific fucking video about that was his excuse. He's like, oh, actually, I was joking. I know where Yemen is. You want to know my proof? Because I was advocating for Yemen just the day prior. That was his unironic excuse.
Okay, I'm gonna click close. I'm closing it. I'm closing it. I think. Nope.
Hasan was very well equipped.
Nope. Got it. We stopped Vladimir Putin from invading Ukraine. Or maybe that was never gonna fucking happen, like I said!
What kind of humiliation?
Damn, he really got that one. He got that one on lock, boy. He was so right, King. So right. They didn't even attack Ukraine. Crazy.
Ritual is this video, you fucking moron.
Nation says that may be a war crime. It literally is.
I was just eating the toppings. And the pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
It's very clear to anyone with a functioning brain how this kind of editing could easily be used maliciously. And this type of malicious editing plagues this video. There's plenty of times in this video where cut context is intentionally left out. Ethan actually already responded to this edit directly, showing that he was making commentary on the conflict at the time, as you can see.
He is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli. She served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel.
No, he's not.
Yeah, me too, man. It seems pretty chill. If you went there, your gay family won't get beat up for existing. So I like that about Israel. Don't like the whole Gaza thing, but...
He's on numerous occasions called out the Israeli government and the IDF.
The Israel government is fucking barbaric, genocidal freaks. And I hate them.
I can't even begin to talk about how fucking bad faith it is, not to mention that Hila's military service was mandatory. It's not like she was psyched to serve in the IDF.
They follow Hasan.
But she got bored one day and wanted to do such change. And then that means that she loved killing people. That's the argument, by the way.
Is strictly
the 19-year-old, yeah.
A political streamer.
No, he isn't. Half of his streams are just him eating and watching Skibbity Toilet. Throughout most...
Dude. Now that I know that, I think I'm going to start watching Hasan streams.
This video, Ian
Skibbity Toilet!
There are many occasions where he shows clips of Ethan that have nothing to do with the point he's trying to make and make Ian look really stupid. For example...
So when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're going to call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
In what way is that propaganda? The river to the sea,
that is what it means, so, yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's extremely reasonable to understand why people rightfully believe that.
The other day, BB
it's the truth, yeah. True.
fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
In his past content cop videos, there was kind of this unspoken rule that Ian was kind of against criticizing people for things that they've taken accountability for. So the malicious use of this clip is pretty sour. Hila misspoke, apologized, then took a break from the podcast after clarifying. What's the problem?
He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims. And Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful, fucking... And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people, oh no.
Bitch. Don't worry, Ethan, I got you. Ian pulled
quadruple down on it.
All of these clips out of context to make Ethan look like he was just attacking people without reason. Matt Lieb unprovokedly attacked Ethan Klein on his podcast, then platformed Bad Empanada. Frogan, as I said earlier, crashed out over Ethan silently unfollowing her on Twitter. And this last clip was a stream called My War on Snark, which was the second stream after the CPS incident. Ethan was calling out Denims for platforming Bad Empanada by showing and promoting his video where he falsely claims that Ethan and Hila's house was covered in dog shit and that the children were walking around eating the dog shit, which led to a false CPS report that Ethan's family had to deal with. Wow.
Yeah, and even that, I think you mentioned it before, the creator mentioned it before, that fucking loser Bad Empanada claimed that he did it. I just don't understand, bro. I don't know. I do understand. Denims is just a fucking pair of pants, dude. She's Hasan's pants, and then she does the mean girls bullying bullshit when Hasan doesn't feel like he can do it because it doesn't look good optically. That's pretty much it. So she watched his video, and she was like, "Oh wow, is this real? What? Wow, incredible! I love commentary like that. By the way, it makes me actually horny."
Oh, with that context, it seems perfectly reasonable why Ethan would be upset at these people. Before we continue, I want to make it perfectly clear that I do not believe that following someone on social media equals the endorsement of that person. I myself follow.
No, a lot of people follow different people. Okay, I didn't even see that. A lot of people follow people just for the sake of like following them, even if they disagree with them. They're like, oh, I'm following this person. I don't know why. They're supposed to push the fucking rocket into the goddamn fucking enemy. I don't know why it never works. This game sucks. Fuck. Anyway, some people just follow people because they don't like them. And so they're just trying to keep up on what's going on. Or they feel like they're relevant in some kind of whatever space they're in. Political space, the slop space, the drama space, this space. They feel like they're relevant in some capacity.
Several people that I disagree with and or dislike. However, Ian seems to be trying to weaponize this argument into something that it is not. In this part of the video, Ian is talking about his former editor, Froggy Tonic.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she's like a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit.
Yeah, it's all terrible, man. It's all terrible.
And that's showing up right up on Anisa's and IDub's feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these—
I'm pretty sure like 90% of my followers just hate watch me. That's a big thing. Or they're just here because they feel like I'm a waiting room, you know?
fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
You don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out.
I don't even really know what lists are. So, because I'm not fucking mega cringe like that. You know what I'm saying, doggy boy? I'm not mega cringe like that. What? I'm getting... Dude, Hasan, are you watching this? I just got assaulted! I told you that they happened, dude. Fuck, sorry, that was a little...
By my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is...
He still wouldn't believe it even if he saw this clip. Let's be fucking real.
Nasty.
For all we know, what do you mean we do know? Anisa was literally engaging with him throughout all of this, but besides that, you literally confirm it yourself.
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that. You know?
Well, here's the thing, iDubbbz has so much empathy that he can understand why somebody would call Hila Klein, the 19-year-old receptionist in the waiting room, a genocidal maniac. Okay. He's like, I can understand, my empathy is overflowing. Look at her. She's Israeli. That would be his argument, because I don't think iDubbbz is like one of the guys that would be like, yeah, they're under the floorboards. They're under the floorboards. Like, there'd be no threat to his person, but he would just say, they're under the floorboards. They're under the floorboards, please. That's the kind of person that iDubbbz would be. You know what I mean?
You don't know what's on my feed. I'm not going to retweet it or like it. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago, what the fuck is happening? Really mean shit.
This contradiction makes this entire point fall flat very quickly, and it's honestly pathetic how little effort went into making this video.
He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit.
Called her cheddar cheese. That's terrible.
I'm sure.
A bunch of other shit? You barely scratched the surface. Oh, boo-hoo, he called someone the C word. What did he actually say, Ian?
Who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place? If you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before.
Baba Booey.
What the hell happened to you, Ian? You went from well-researched videos to crediting Snark subreddits to make your point. The cherry on top is the person who made this post apparently isn't even the same dude the Snark is talking about, and this was found out less than an hour after this video's release.
Fucking the Gaza Strip, whatever it might be, I'll talk about it, no matter how ignorant of the facts I am. That's one very important thing to keep in mind, guys.
Is this real? Is this AI? What the hell is this?
I'm not a researcher. I'm a dipshit.
Also, I think Ian has just ruined the word crash out for me. He called Ethan's behavior...
That makes a little bit of sense to me, because he would be like, oh, Hasan is he's like the end all be all on this topic. I'll just trust his word on it. That kind of does make a little bit of sense as to why he would like guzzle. Oh, fuck. No.
Crashing out on the stream where he talks about CPS getting called on his kids.
Just like I'm not going to throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
This is a point Ethan responded to in his latest video where he also reveals that 2 human skulls were sent to his house. If that's a crash out, it's a reasonable crash out.
I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional.
Well, no, it makes the relationship seem like, hey, I stood up for you when no one else would. It doesn't make it seem transactional. It makes it seem like normal. It's like, dude, I stood up for you. Like, why can't you do the same for me? That's not transactional. That's like normal as fuck.
I entirely disagree with this point. Yeah, it's not cool to have an ultimatum, transactional type of relationship. However, wouldn't that make you a hypocrite, Ian? You give him a lot of ultimatums in this video.
It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. Maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our
Maybe
friendship.
he'll find peace.
Aren't you kind of doing the same thing?
I thought the text conversation that I had with him,
I think that all either has to happen is that Ethan and Hasan just have to like make up, and then that's it. That's it. The Middle East is cured. That's all we have to do. That's all that needs to happen.
was very empathetic. I basically just
my
said,
empathy
like,
meter's
I know
only
you
making
made
like
a
quarter
of
of
the
the
way
way
filled up, and I essentially empathize with that.
Yes. Ian, the moral arbiter of empathy. I'm glad you filled up your empathy meter a little bit more before making this fucking hit piece.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear.
True, but not in a bad way. But listen, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Ethan and Neil are kind of the reason Adam McIntyre's fucking so crazy. I mean, listen, they overvalidated the whole thing going on with Colleen Ballinger. I'm not saying she wasn't irresponsible, but there's a lot of pushing of this sexual grooming narrative that simply was not true. You know, it got a little crazy. You guys overvalidated that situation. You kind of created this gay little Frankenstein monster. Okay, so it's kind of your fault there. The Kleinenstein monster over here.
That guy is a piece of shit, like, of the lowest order. I never even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him, like, the spawn of Satan.
They never made a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation.
But also, just to be clear, a little based from Adam, only because Trisha is a terrible person. Trish is a terrible person. So let's just be fucking real. She's horrible. She's like role played as some kid that was murdered, I think, allegedly by her father with some kind of sex role play. I mean, that by itself is crazy. That's wild, but
to me.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
Yeah.
Hey! Stop it, dude!
This situation isn't near identical in any way. H3 and Trisha weren't close or even friends at the time of this happening. They had no reason to publicly stand on anything, nor were they asked to. When they asked—
Well, they hated Trisha at this point, and so it makes sense that they wouldn't defend her even if they disagreed with it.
You to denounce the crazy shit your former editor was saying, you guys ignored them.
Because they're trying to like paint themselves—
Yeah, Trisha's like a really bad person. You guys didn't know that?
What? As the good guys. And they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disagree.
It doesn't even end there. I remember the whole thing with like where she falsely accused some dead teacher of assaulting her, and then there was like so much information to the contrary. It was fucking wild. There's a lot going on with Trisha. Like, I'm not interested in rehashing all the old shit. I mean, I have other stuff on my old channels, but like, she's not a very good person.
How things that are said, even about her enemies.
Also, she got a bad tit job. Let's be fucking real. I looked up. Oh, I just look at her really fit. I did. I love years ago, and it's like, why are they? Keep them proportionate. When you get older, your tits sag. Let your fucking nipples sag with them. You don't have to fucking. What are you doing, dude?
We are the most immoral people on the internet. Unlike Ian and Anisa, who are fucking keeping to themselves.
True. They suck.
What a fucking liar, dude.
But you guys weren't staying silent, dude. You made a tweet joking about the situation. Anisa was out there in Frogan's chat after the whole Twitter incident, and then you went out to make a statement about it on your podcast. If you were trying to stay silent, you did a pretty fucking awful job.
Some people call it like a lol cow.
What is that?
True, definitely.
Come on, man, what is that?
I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anisa is half Lebanese and half Irish.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, I'm half full right now on food. Just kidding, I'm 8% full. That was a bad joke, but my joke, she's 8% Lebanese, okay? And it's all on her toes. I don't even know if you know that, all right? She has beautiful feet, by the way. Lebanese women, beautiful feet, but that's pretty much all she's got from the Lebanese. The rest of it's Irish. And that's also, are we allowed to make racist jokes about Irish people? I don't even know. What's allowed on YouTube anymore? Are the Irish fair game? I don't actually hate Irish people. But I do remember one time, I was at a party and I made a joke. I was a kid. I made a joke about Irish people being drunk, alcoholics. It's very untrue, by the way. YouTube, don't punish me. It turned out my aunt's Irish and she was an alcoholic at the time, so that didn't really. That was an awkward family moment we had there. But
That's awfully convenient. What, Anisa's half Lebanese? Well, it turns out she might not be, according to Yoko Ono herself. I'm actually like 50% Irish. I peed on myself in the shower. No.
Beautiful, love it.
Oh, I've been peed on. 25% Italian, 8% Arab. Now, maybe let's give her the benefit of the doubt, despite the fact she constantly talks about her heritage. Let's say iDubbbz is just being hyperbolic. It's still quite a stretch to add 42%.
Well, it's definitely a stretch. He was saying he's just he's trying to be like that white person that dates a non-white person, and they're like, oh, can I come to the cookout? But unfortunately, Ian, you are not allowed at the cookout, but you can come to the cuckout. It's an incredible thing. You'll have to be there because actually Anisa's the cuck, apparently. She watches you get fucked by Ethan. Metaphorically speaking, of course. You know what I mean? I feel like Ethan... I like Ethan Klein. I feel like... I wonder how strong that noodle gets. Because I feel like... again, I like Ethan. But when I look at Ethan, I don't know if I go like, oh, he fucks. You know what I'm saying, dude? You ever look at somebody, you go like, oh, they fuck. I don't know if he fucks. I don't know if he fucks. You know what I mean? But that's an inappropriate. The fact that I'm even doing this right now, I literally just gained self-awareness of what tangent I'm on. That's a little inappropriate. So we're gonna move on.
Of your heritage to something and call it half. Keemstar is more black than Anisa is Lebanese.
Whoa!
Shout out to Nicholas Diorio.
For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish
Fuck
have
that guy, dude. No, I'm just kidding. He's all right.
been on the receiving
Mr.
end of a
Lips.
lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anisa is very well familiar.
While this is true, this feels like a weird and unnecessary oppression tug of war. And do I have to state the obvious?
I feel like she doesn't really know anybody in her family that's actually like Arabic. Like it's just kind of in there, you know? Like 10,000 years ago, something happened or something. It just kind of worked its way in there, you know?
Here that Ethan and Hila are both Jews. I know this is a deep cut, Ian. You may have never heard of this, but like, I think
Nicholas Diorio and I still have to play pinball together. So I can bully him because pinball's super gay.
around 6 million Jews were genocided in this little obscure thing known as the Holocaust. Huh. I wonder what Anisa's take is on that.
For some reason, I expected him to say, huh, I wonder how much the Holocaust. I don't know why that joke. That's a terrible thing to say. That's a terrible joke. But I don't know why I expected this young man to make that joke.
Really hard question. And I think if people are being 100% honest, they give you a different answer than what
She looks like she was about to sneeze a couple times, but can't get it out.
you're expecting. As terrible as the Holocaust was, obviously it was horrendous, and how disgusting the doctor was that did the experiments on people, gay people, handicaps, twins. I think that's, and obviously they're obviously Jewish, or they did it on Jewish people. They found a couple of really groundbreaking discoveries through that experimentation.
I don't even know if that's true. Well, I don't even think that's true. I think that that's just like revisionist history for anti-Semitic people to say, to try to make it seem like there might have been a positive outcome from World War II, from the Holocaust, which there wasn't. But here's the thing. I don't necessarily blame, like, this is when she's younger and she doesn't look like, you know, age just hit her like a truck and other potential substances, you know. If they're going to accuse Ethan of doing it. And I feel like she was young and stupid. Because at a certain point, I think when I was younger, I thought that too. It was somewhat recently that I was like, oh, that's actually not true. But again, this is what happens when you guys make terrible hit pieces. I'm not picking my nose, I'm just pulling out a hair. Oh, dude, do you see this? Unironically just ripped that out of my fucking schnozola. That's crazy. So, but I mean, listen, people are going to be mean to you because you're kind of just mean. You're just like a mean person. I wonder if anybody actually enjoys being around Anisa. She seems so unpleasant, but not like the good way. You know, like my wife is an unpleasant person. Like I think Hila is probably like unpleasant. And when I say that, I don't mean like they're rude. Like when you first meet them, they're like a little bit, like they're a little tough. But then like you kind of you hang out with them for 20 minutes and they start to open up and they're really chill and they have like a conversation and they're like really nice and everything's cool. Anisa just seems unpleasant. She's like a booger you try to get off your hand when you're driving and you just keep trying to flick it out the window, but instead of coming off your thumb, it goes onto the upper side of your fingernail, and then you're just trying to like constantly like flicking it. You know, I feel like that until somebody eats it, which is iDubbbz in this case. I think that's what it is. I think that's what Anisa is. She's a sticky booger. I don't know, man.
You caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when I don't know.
Yeah, like she's not like she doesn't just have her guard up. She's just like unpleasant all the time, you know?
Follow people, we be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anisa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
Ooh,
true.
Yeah, Ian? Oh, how long did it take you to come up with that one, buddy?
Your wife and Hila sound more reserved. Yeah, you know, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't know if my wife and Hila would like each other, and that's not like I'm ever gonna like meet these people, but I feel like they're kind of similar, and they probably wouldn't like each other if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Does that, you know what I'm saying?
It's very malicious the way that this is phrased, as if Ethan and Hila actually care about who Ian is following on Twitter. It's the people you guys claim to be friends with openly.
Spineless, I'm cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
I do be following.
Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, where we are friends with Denims.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know, yeah.
Which I'll show.
Well, yeah, there's like, they did like a podcast together at one point.
She's actually participating in this whole child protective service lie.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, where we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's
You guys were like best friends.
like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person, like we think Ethan and Hila are good people.
Well, Denims is not a good person. She's like a hollow fucking idiot. But my thing, you know, here's my thing. I'm not even necessarily like, I'm not even, I mean, I'm not offended at all. I don't care. But it's not even like upsetting to me that he would say that they're all friends or that they're like similarly friend-coded. I don't even know how you'd say that. What I think is so pathetic is just how much of a loser this guy is. Where like he can't just be honest. Just be like, yo, like I know we were good friends and now we're not. Why do you have to lie about everything? It's strange behavior to me to make up these lies. I don't know. Like, so why do you have to downplay if you're so correct? Just be like, yeah, we are fucking like we're friendly with her. Fuck you.
H3 is clearly upset that Ian is.
Don't downplay like your old relationship with Ethan and Hila. Just be like, yeah, we're friends with these people, and you know we're not friends with Ethan anymore because we don't like this or that. But you can't even be like an adult and like communicate that perspective. I think it's just pathetic.
Admittedly friends with Denims. Denims openly promoted the idea that Ethan and Hila are bad parents and their kids are walking around in shit and eating shit and catching diseases. She then justified everything after CPS was called on H3 and is a terror-supporting rape denier who's yet to apologize for anything.
Here's the thing though. It's not so bad to eat shit as long as it's your own because it's cleaner.
The CPS thing, which was barely an apology and it was made after the content cop. So yes, Ian, I question anyone who chooses to be friends with Denims or would openly call her a good person. You also gotta love this revisionist history, the same level of friendship.
I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend.
You guys were
I'm a light friend.
Friends for nearly 9 years. You've called Ethan and Hila inspiration.
Guys, I'm a light friend. Anisa and I think Anisa probably likes that white girl Frogan. No, the white Hasan's pants because she's white. Because maybe she's like oh man, I wish I had more connection with my Lebanese-ness. You know what I mean? Because I talk about it too. Like I'm ethnically Jewish, and I feel a little more Jewish with everything going on. And maybe Anisa is trying to capture that as well. You know, maybe there's even a level of maybe that's probably a factor in why I do support Ethan. You know, I'm feeling a little Jewish. You know, maybe that's why she's supporting Denims. You know, maybe we just learned empathy right now. The only difference is I don't think I'm that stupid. But you know what? I probably am super fucking dumb.
You've met his family, and now he's just a light friend? By the end of this video, what are you going to call him? An acquaintance? Another internet creator?
Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators.
Yes.
I don't know. I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for...
Did you guys see me kill that guy, even though I wasn't even attacking him? That was crazy.
Internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
Oh!
Nasty.
Oh, I get...
In a good way? You am I right, Daddy?
I get it now. So it's about you.
He's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty.
Coercive. Do you guys know what coercive means? It means when your friend is a meanie bomini. No, coercive means when you're like threatening somebody. Like, we're using words. We're crazy.
Well, then you should have no problem.
Dude, I can't play Fortnite. All right, I'm not Nicholas Diorio, dude. You want to go there for If you want to see somebody play Fortnite, go watch Nicholas Diorio react. Okay, I play hard video games on difficult modes. This is the hardest difficulty. Give me a fucking break.
Publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
You guys literally called Froggy
like Gargamel. He's the one that eats Smurfs. I don't know if you guys know that.
Like a nobody. Yeah, I'd assume you'd have no problem.
But not like the League of Legends type Smurf. which is a big problem in the community.
denouncing him either if that's actually how you feel.
Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Hila? Sure.
You don't have to say that. You'd be like, yeah, we don't support what this guy's saying. Like, we've been to their house and they treat their kids well. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say, you could just say, I'm not going to talk on the political side of stuff. But we've been to their house and they treat their kids well, from what we've seen, and they have a clean house. Okay, that's all you had to really say.
Ah, holy shit, dude. That's all you had to fucking say, dude. Instead, you're wasting time, money, and a close friendship on a hit piece so you don't piss off your new friends. You look extremely pathetic, Ian.
True.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out.
Pause the relationship.
And then maybe we can find a moment in time.
Dude, Gargamel is a powerful villain. You guys understand? Okay? And you might be like, well, Gargamel's just an old man. Gargamel is just an old man. That is fair. But he's also bald. He's an old man, but compared to the Smurfs, he's insanely powerful. You know, so you have to do comparative power levels. Like, you know, let's say like fucking All for One from My Hero Academia, powerful villain. Frieza would fucking murk him in that universe, but you'd still consider him a powerful villain. You have to do power relativity. It's very important. All right? That's a fact. All right?
Time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach.
Whoa! Is Sean the Black there? Sorry.
Oh, excuse me. I was just talking to the Silence Through Witchcraft. I didn't hear anything about you wanting to pause the relationship, though. What I heard was that you
What the fuck was that, though, for real? Oh my god. Who the fuck? What are you showing us here?
Broach.
Who's the... Dude, dude, I'll fucking shit my pants if you put George Floyd on the screen. What is happening here? What is happening here, dude? There's no way. That would be a little over the line for me. I was making a racist joke. It was a joke, but this looks like you've outdone me. All right, hold on a second. I gotta investigate this. No, dude, what are you doing? Hold on a second. All right, you guys are saying it's somebody named Shelbo. I don't know who Shelbo is. It's a Twitch streamer. Okay, it's not. It's acceptable levels of racism, and it looks like he has a controversy with Pokimane. Acceptable levels of racism. Dude, I can't see. They all look the same. No, I'm just kidding. It's like holographed. I can't see this. I don't know what the fuck this is. Okay, I don't know who Shelbo is, dude. Okay, I appreciate it. This is why I got to live react, because this way you guys can explain the memes to me. That's Pokimane's ex-husband? Wow, that's probably not true and totally a troll for Pokimane. All right, but I'm gonna believe you guys. I'm gonna be sure to believe you. Oh, it's a stalker. Oh, that's not good. Okay, maybe. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're moving on. Show somebody who thought he was dating Pokimane and got scammed. Ah, okay. That's basically gotcha. Pokimane is Grace Vanderwall. Let's continue.
Oh, excuse me. I was just talking to the Silence Through Witchcraft.
He was a legitimate schizophrenic. Oh yeah. Well, same thing with you know who. So
didn't hear anything about you wanting to pause the relationship, though. What I heard was that you let Hasan fuck your girlfriend while you watched. Not sure. Maybe I'm getting a bad read. Hold on.
Dude, he talked to him.
I would have been perfectly fine.
You might want to watch your hand movements there, buddy. You keep doing it, dude. You need to stop. You're getting really close with that hand movement. Don't flip your arm over, man.
And I support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. It do be like that sometimes.
That's the problem. She actually
thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression.
What do you mean? What about your girl? Well, I mean, that's the point. You guys are not being supportive. What about your girl?
No, Ian, go fuck yourself is right. They're right. You do agree. You've made that very clear. That's why they're saying that. That's their decision. Also, what do you mean aggression? Look at you.
No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping.
He needs a good spanking.
In terms of these fair weather friends who are, so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan, that is a rich thing to say.
Throughout this video, Ian strictly avoids the core reason as to why
he do be having money. He do be having money, dude. He do be having money.
Ethan is acting the way he is in these clips. This one piece of context would likely nullify majority of this video.
One Piece referenced.
The episode Ian is pulling clips from is titled "Snark Called Child Protective Services on Us." No shit, he's pissed.
I'd be pretty upset too. My empathy tells me it's crazy because you guys probably don't understand this. Sometimes when somebody has like CPS called on them for like not justifiably, my empathy goes, oh man, that's probably, I think that might be bad. Only I think. My empathy is not quite as powerful as Ian's or Anisa's husband. But I'm like, wait a minute, this is not good. And my brain starts to fry because I don't have the type of empathy that they have. It's a very powerful empathy that they are operating on top of. So I think that's it, guys. Empathy and something like that.
This is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are.
Oh, I'm glad Ian's the king of podcasts. He knows what's horrible. He knows what an emotional dumping ground is. And he clearly knows not to do that in podcasts, right? Would you guys?
I think that iDubbbz is the kind of guy who's like, just kind of is always emotionally dumping on everybody around him. I truly wonder what it was like. Like I wonder if I wonder how exhausting it was for I wonder how exhausting it was for even the Hasan crew and like the Denims crew to like listen to him constantly like dump like emotionally, because he was probably sitting there and fucking going crazy about like all the things that were going on. He's like, I know I've learned empathy and I've changed and I've done that, because he's constantly prattling on about how much he's fucking changed. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's so fucking annoying. That's like the worst type of person, is somebody who is too emotional. Like it's cool to express yourself, but like chill out. There's a time and a fucking place. But he seems like the kind of guy's always just looking to talk about how much of a better person he is. He probably has so much guilt about what he used to do. What a loser.
You're the sweetest bit of hypocrisy.
Explaining to
you could just have like regular cringe guilt. You know, like the type of the perspective you have where you're just kind of taking a shit and all of a sudden you realize like 7 years ago, you said something inappropriate because you were drunk to some girl and the boyfriend like smacked you and your glasses came off and you got really like, you started like being all loud and perform like a loser. That's the kind of cringe moment that I think Ian regrets so much. That he goes a podcast with some fucking black girl and he tells her, or she tells him, that he was racist for going after that one black streamer, just a balls that would just watch people and make silly noises and not really react, and she called him racist for that. And he's like, yes, you're right. Nobody ever brings that moment up, but that moment bothers me more than like anything else. It's the most performative fucking bullshit I've ever seen.
People why we started this podcast. For me, that's one of the reasons. Is it's like, I just need to sometimes dump a little bit and just
true. Jinx. Yeah.
Just being like, all right, I'll dump, I think is like a satisfying thing for me.
So your podcast is an emotional dumping ground, but when Ethan does it and you don't like what he's dumping about, it's bad.
Well, because he probably got negative feedback for dumping on there, and he's like, that's not what it's for, because people were mean to me when I did it, so you shouldn't be doing it either, you know?
Realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism.
Wow, really? He's almost there.
Is a thought in their heads now more than ever.
You know what? This could have been a valid point, but I gotta say, it was an interesting choice to shave your head before this video. Also, the pose with the swastika, the swastika sword. I don't know, man. That was an interesting choice there, Ian. Sometimes I wonder if you.
I wonder if that was intentional from Ian or just from Hasan, because Hasan did. And I don't know if Hasan did it to be anti-Semitic. That's the thing. I mean, he definitely downplays like the atrocities that happened against Jewish people. I mean, we literally watched him the other day talk about how when people like Arabic people were hailing Hitler, that they don't even like know who Hitler is. Like that was basically his point. It was actually atrocious. It was wild that he's like, oh no, you're just Western. That's not what it is. No. Right. So he's like legitimately anti-Semitic. He completely downplays the fact that the other Arabic countries historically have been very anti-Semitic, and it's not exclusive to Arabic people. The whole world has been. That's how the Jews were genocided. But he denies like the reason why Arabic Jews left Arabic countries, right? But I think it was more to try to like rile up Ethan more than anything else. Although I could be wrong. But I wonder if Ian was even knew what was happening, or if he just kind of got like nay-nayed on there, because they definitely did that as like a way to try to harass Ethan.
You still got it in you.
Saying
Hey, dude, I'm not even lying. One of the things that bothers me so much is the hook to that new Kanye song is actually stuck in my head. And I have to be aware of myself because I will accidentally say it, which is like double bad because it says the N-word and then it says, to hail a bad individual. And it's bad because I am ethnically German, but then also ethnically Jewish. And so like there's just and I'm also a little white. So it's not good. I hate how catchy that song is because it makes me angry because it's like, what the fuck? But then at the same time, it's like, how is this actually stuck in my head? Like it's more catchy than that fucking annoying green-haired CEO jackass that's like, I am rectangular. I hate it. It makes me so fucking angry. I am rectangular.
Cameroon, you ignorant sloat. That sword is obviously from Bleach.
I don't even know who that guy is.
that's Isaac Bleach.
Oh, I don't watch Bleach.
This one's sicker. Wait, that's sus.
Immediately goes for the swastika one. Got it.
Maybe you haven't changed so much after all.
Me making this video is the standing up for something, and it's saying, "Fuck you! You guys are being bad." I don't think you're bad people, but you are being bad. You're behaving poorly.
Give him some spanky poos.
Oh, okay, I get it. I'm glad you stood up for the massive political streamer and his lackeys instead of your friend who was being harassed and threatened. What the fuck even is this shit, dude? You're being bad. Bad boy! You're being a bad boy. Who the fuck are you?
I'm not your fucking dad.
You sure try to act like one.
I was morally grandstanding.
True!
Bring it back to Hasan just because, but it's kind of the same thing. Like, I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single...
This one always seemed like a weird criticism of Hasan. But I understand the point that Ethan's trying to make.
Well, fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely. Harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one.
What? Just criticizes. Ian, can I get your definition of harassment? Is criticism now harassment? You sound like... Oh. Never mind, my head hurts.
She's friends with Denims. Denims is streaming this story about our kid
I'll show that, yeah.
getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'll accept this position from anyone except you guys. You have laid the groundwork for this type of streaming.
I don't even know the point Ian is trying to make here.
What that means. I don't know exactly what that means.
Are you trying to say that Ethan pioneered live drama content? Maybe? Are you trying to say that Ethan pioneered live politics coverage? I don't think so. Are you criticizing Ethan for doing reaction?
He might be saying, listen, the most charitable, if I am being charitable, and that's assuming iDubbbz has a fucking brain, maybe he's referring to the fact that like Ethan can be toxic sometimes, and like I said it before, the whole Adam McIntyre, Colin Ballinger thing was like overly, the criticism was disproportionate, right? There was too much, from what I saw, support of like the false sexual grooming narrative, which definitely was there, like the narrative was there. Right, and so maybe that's what it is. Like maybe there's like a level of argument to be made of that, I suppose. If that's what they're talking about, maybe there's like Ethan maybe operates with a level of toxicity. That's the best I can. That's the best I can kind of come up with, I guess. If I'm being super charitable, I suppose that's all I would really be able to get there. Yeah, Hasan is the one who pioneered political streaming. He's the first one who ever did it. True.
Action streams? I hope not. Regardless, I'm not getting the
My favorite thing was when and I have to release it. It's not going to be released. It'll be released before this video is. I reacted to Hasan's entire thing, and in that conversation, fuck, I don't even remember the point that I was going to make. Never mind, I completely lost a thought. So maybe I'll remember it later. I don't know. Oh, I remember. Okay. He, at one point in his response to the content nuke, Hasan, in this fucking 10-hour response to half of it, by the way, he says something along the lines of, he looks up like the Google trends of Ethan Klein. I don't remember if it was Ethan Klein or H3H3. I think it was Ethan Klein though. And his own name. And he's like, oh, Ethan claimed that he put me on the map, but like, oh, I'm always more popular than him. But it's like nobody looked up Ethan Klein. Everybody looked up H3H3. So if you look up H3H3 and Ethan Klein, which is the two ways that he's referred to, he like his popularity is exponentially higher than Hasan's. But Hasan has to intentionally do that. Hasan is known as Hasan Piker or Hasan Parker. Maybe Hasanabi, I guess he could have used, but like Ethan Klein, H3H3, these are two of the biggest ones, and H3H3 is the biggest one, and I'm pretty sure from what I remember, he didn't even include H3H3 as one of them. So, kind of a cuck move, buddy.
Comparison, because name me one time where Ethan promoted the harassment and misinformation against someone's family. But enough yapping, let's find out what he's talking about.
Which is watching people shit and giving your unfiltered reaction to it.
Oh, okay. That's all it was. We ranted for no reason. L ranting?
You do realize that reaction streams and videos long predated the H3 podcast. I think
True.
you should know this more than most. Ian should also know well that not all reaction content is created equally. Sitting there while eating and not adding commentary, or while your brain is malfunctioning, in the case of Denims, or having your chair watch the video
Dude,
for you.
I'm not gonna fight Nicholas Diorio in Creator Class Street. Listen, all jokes aside, like, why? Nicholas Diorio is like 5'9", and I'm 6'4". And I'm not in good shape, but I'm in better shape than Nicholas Diorio. There wouldn't be a contest. I would evaporate this young man. What the hell are you guys talking about? That wouldn't even be entertaining for anybody. What are you talking about, dude?
For you is not a reaction. It's content theft. And you should know that adding commentary to a video that you're watching and transforming it into your own thing is something very different. A reaction streamer can criticize another reaction streamer who's stealing content, just like—
True. Well, I'll say XQC is a unique type of reaction streamer. First of all, I actually don't dislike XQC because at least he owns what he does. But I mean, a lot of times it's just like fucking painfully like stupid yapping over like a video that doesn't even like add any meaningful commentary to it. It's fucking wild. Nicholas and me versus— oh, Ryan Beard said Nicholas Diorio and him versus I mean, we could do it. We could do it. I think about it.
a commentary YouTuber can criticize another commentary YouTuber for making bad content.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
They're actually good people. Like that's going to get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck.
See, I just beat myself right here. Look at how fucking awesome. I just fucking destroyed myself.
If I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever.
Why not just say it if that was your only request?
Fucking the prompt is. No one would care.
Don't be naive. You know you would have gotten shit, Ian. Also,
he probably would have.
What a great—
especially from like the Hasan crew. It makes the most sense because the Hasan crew is not factual. They are completely optics driven. They don't really care about like facts or having any like kind of a moral backbone or spine or anything. They just care about what like optically looks a certain way. So it makes perfect sense that like they would actually get like a significant amount of pushback if they did that. That makes perfect sense.
Great way to dodge talking about the CPS situation.
If you can. I just want to ask you if you've always been shitting your pants.
No.
Because since I've known you,
Have you
always
been shitting your pants?
had like IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
You look so uncomfortable here.
I'm not tweeting.
You know what's crazy though? I will say, I didn't post baby, of course. I didn't shit my pants until I was, I want to say like in my 30s. Okay, probably like gross. True on the one hand, but here's my thing. All right, my wife had made something. I think it was she made this really good buffalo chicken dip, and I trusted a fart. And you know what's so funny? I usually, at this saga in my life, I wasn't wearing undies. I was going commando. But for some reason, this time, I was like, I'm going to wear undies. So I wore my undies. And it was a good thing because I absolutely fucking rocket blasted a big, just horrible shotgun shit into my ass, out of my ass. And you want to know what, though? As gross as that sounds, my wife cleaned those underwear up. Isn't that so? That's just such a sweet thing for her to do, you know. And she wasn't even my wife at that point. She was just my girl, and she did that for me. And that's beautiful true love. That's beautiful true love, in my opinion, at least. And that's what I have. And I mean, I know that the rest of you are all fucking jealous because you don't have a beautiful true love like I do. You're all jealous, you know, and I understand your jealousy, by the way. I get it. And then maybe a month or so later, my wife was eating something else and she was wearing those underwear, and she trusted a fart too that she shouldn't have, and that's just a beautiful thing. Maybe one day.
Out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out.
Well, by your logic, you just made an hour-long video defending Hasan and co. Doesn't that make you Hasan's lapdog?
Probably.
Making this video is the standing up for something. If you maybe accepted the phone call and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles?
No fucking shot, dude. No,
my principles? I had a principal named Mr. Penguin one time. His nickname was Mr. Penguin. Pretty cool guy.
I don't think Ethan wanted to talk to you about your principles. I think he's got bigger fish to fry right now. fucking love it. Ian then goes on this retarded tangent about
stop.
friends to the whole follower equals endorsement narrative, so I'll spare repeating myself.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out how he can change his behavior, he spent $20,000.
Now,
listen. I probably don't need to bring this up every time this clip comes up, but I feel like that was so performative, her coming on stream and crying. I get being upset your boyfriend's like best friend is jacking off to AI pictures of you. I imagine that's upsetting. Coming on stream to fucking have a cry. It just feels so performative. It just feels like you didn't need to do that. Coming on stream just to cry? I mean, come on, dude. Like, it's, you know what I mean? And then we go, oh, Ethan's got to apologize to you for that? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, come on. Ain't that deep, honestly. You know, it's also not your body. Let's be fucking real. I'm tired of people like, no. I mean, I get it. It's upsetting, but it's not even your fucking body. That's whatever. I feel like I probably shouldn't make this take all the time. You know what I mean? Nobody thought it was you. I don't know.
For whatever reason, Anisa's
be upset offline.
Husband brings up the button. He goes on this concern trolling.
Yeah, I don't really know what the whole point of this whole button thing is. It's like, I feel like it's weird. They fucking harp on this button so much. I don't really understand the whole, like, let's obsess about the button. The button's a fun idea, and they use it in, like, a comedic way, too. Like, they've managed to work it in.
About how Ethan refuses to change his behavior, and instead...
Also, I don't think it was just the Excuse Cinderella thing. I think it was multiple things. Right? That's the case, yeah?
Uses the button after he did a goof plus a spoof plus a gaff plus a riot while watching a video of Cutie Cinderella crying.
I also what is going on with you?
Oh, this is a laser man.
It's just really dumb.
Look at women who are not actually benefiting off of being seen.
Now, if you did a tiny bit of research, it's in the same video. You would have known that the button had already been ordered at the time of this incident, so this wasn't some turning point.
Research? Gay?
Ian quickly nullifies this point of the segment by saying,
I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But
maybe I would.
If you don't have it, you operate differently.
Yeah, true.
Think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more.
Yeah,
Oh, man, that's a good idea. Ethan, you need to start planning for your show better. My friend iDub says so. I don't know if you know who he is. He also has a podcast. So you got to listen to him.
Every network television station has a button. I stream a lot. I wish I had a button. I think everyone could use a kill switch.
Maybe, yeah, that's probably a good idea. I wish I did, because the other fucking day Hasan Piker was reacting to the content nuke, and then he, like, legitimately and intentionally just showed a moment of Ethan saying the N-word. Like, just for funs, I guess. For funsies. It was crazy. And I don't understand. Like, he didn't censor the N-word. So I'm like, how the fuck does, like, you know what I mean? Like, he probably deserved a ban for that on Twitch, for at least for a day. You know, he knew it's one thing for it to accidentally hit your stream. For you to know what you're doing, that's just fucking crazy.
He is making a non-argument. He barely streams, and he is making this point during an edited video. You know what? I think I know a guy who could probably use that button.
You f***ing bloodthirsty, violent pig dog. You would kill Rick Scott. America deserved 9/11, dude.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers in a video game. Sorry.
Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in the worst...
Oh, that's another one of, like, the one of the concern trolling. Oh, the crew. Oh, the crew's been put in a bad spot. The crew. All the button. Let's see what happens if I do this.
Environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad.
I think this part of the video, and frankly, any part of the video that
I feel like the crew doesn't have it that bad.
Mentions the podcast is malicious. Ian, I know you don't have the best business track record, and that happens, but I don't think you have the place to be talking about Ethan's successful podcast when my small YouTube channel consistently outperforms your podcast.
Damn, that's rough, brother. That is true. Well, they make excuses for it. iDubbbz goes, well, it doesn't do well because we don't promote it. It doesn't. They don't promote it because they're self-conscious about it. Like but he's like, if you watch him talk to that doctor, you realize the reason that he doesn't promote it is because he's fucking self-conscious about his ability to entertain people now. That's like a legitimate thing. That's a big factor in this whole situation.
I would be fine with you not brigading my comment section on my podcast that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not to do harassment campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah, it's just a boring fucking podcast nobody's interested in.
It's very clear to me that Ian is insecure about the success of his podcast.
Yeah, he said so in that conversation with that doctor.
And it's not unsuccessful because he talks about niche subjects or whatever. It's because it's boring and oftentimes laughably bad.
I think for me, when I really started to be like, I really don't want to be a part of this, was, I hate bringing it up, but Etika. The Etika stuff was so hard for me. Like, that was somebody who clearly was experiencing a mental health issue. And this is my attitude, like, full stop on this period. The last thing somebody who's going through something like that needs is more eyes on it. We were in it. And at the time...
What he needs is more empathy. Did you guys know that?
When we were in it and we wanted...
She's referring to us kind of going through a fucking hard time on the internet, being harassed, videos made about us, people weighing in.
People still make videos about us.
And on the stupid crew point, there's been very few people to actually leave H3's crew. Only one is left on bad terms. Hell, Dan's been there for like 7 years, if not more.
Why did they leave on bad terms? Was it the cutie Cinderella thing? Was that what it boiled down to? That'd be fucking crazy.
If the environment was so bad, why didn't you call it out when you were on the show a year and a half ago? You've had plenty of time. And while we're speaking on the crew, I want to take a moment to talk about AB and Lena, two beloved members of the H3 podcast. I actually met AB at the second Creator Clash. He was nice as hell. I even made it into the podcast members only recap video.
Whoa, dude.
Aside, let's be clear here.
He's flexing. He's flexing on Ian here. He's flexing. It's a constant flex. Oh, that is what it was? Or are they talking about Trisha Paytas?
Ian, what you did to Lena by stirring this shit up 2 months before the event is eerily similar to what you did last time to sabotage your own event. It's disgusting that you put two other people that you're friendly with, two Arabs, by the way, since that apparently matters instead of treating everyone like human beings, in this position when you knew full well that Lena was fighting in your event in 2 months. If you had any spine at all, you would at least wait until after your event or send a warning to Lena and AB. You've now set two innocent people up for harassment, and harassment they've been getting. Not just because of you, but because they're the only two Lebanese people on the show. Looks like you need to fill up that empathy bar a little bit more.
Well, I feel like Anisa, considering iDub said she was 50% fucking Arab, that means that she thinks that she's 50% Arab, or she wants to, or she wants people to believe it or something. And so I wouldn't doubt that in private she has the same take that fucking whatever Millhouse has, where like AB's like a performative Muslim or whatever the fuck they said, which was like just kind of disgusting.
Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, two Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict.
It's all concern trolling. Oh, are they too fucking stupid to talk about the conflict? Like, what's happening here? They can't. Are they adults?
They don't exist. It would be nicer, a lot nicer, for you to shut the fuck up about it.
Also, you act like Ethan is some sort of anti-Palestinian voice. Like he's got some...
Like everybody gives him criticism on his own podcast. Like, who fucking cares?
Ben Shapiro absolute Zionist level takes when that is absolutely not the case. Believe it or not, you can be pro-Palestinian and anti-terrorist at the same time, and I believe most pro-Palestinian people are.
I mean, yeah, man, fucking I'd say the IDF and Hamas have the same level of care for fucking people in Gaza, like citizens of Gaza. So
the cherry on top of this is that Ian,
you know, if they're fucking bombing it, and then Hamas is hiding under civilian infrastructure, so obviously they don't care.
Accidentally released,
not letting people leave when they do. So like, hey, we're gonna bomb this area. You know, they obviously there's not enough empathy from either side. Okay.
The video while AB and Lena were live on the H3 podcast. While the show was live, Lena had to run off to the bathroom as she was having a panic attack over the video. Then Ian had the bright idea to send her a DM like, oh, my bad, as if that fixes anything he set them up for. Ian, if you actually do have
oh, my bad,
an empathy meter over 1%, you'll spare her and buy her out from Creator Clash because you know full well that your audience is going to boo her the second she steps foot on the event, something that she's afraid of. Also, big shout outs to whoever
I wouldn't even doubt that they would. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they necessarily would. I don't know if everybody here is so terminal, but I also think that I don't think it's going to be a particularly successful display, honestly.
Hell runs the Creator Clash Twitter and website. Yeah, great timing there.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it. It was rude, it was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of like, I'm not mad at you.
Oh man, he was rude to the crew because they wanted to go home and see their kids, and there was just kind of like a miscommunication. Like, adult jobs are so hard, guys. Fuck, they're so abusive.
It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Oh, you got
use they get Ashley to cover most of it.
We're doing it.
What are you
It's
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not
Just like this is what I'm talking about when it's always like
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, God, these parents want to get home for their kids, and AB's like, oops, he kind of made like it was just like this weird misunderstanding mistake. Oh, people get angry at work. Oh, dude. Oh, I've never worked a real job before, ever in my entire life. I'm just a fucking entitled fuck that always made money on the internet as a kid and never experienced the real world and thought, oh, this is so bad when people get mad. Oh, dude, you got mad at work? Oh, dude. Oh,
no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I'm not finishing Wednesday.
Ian, for some reason, I'm beginning to think that you being an electrician's apprentice was some sort of joke. Jokes aside.
There's no way he was an electrician's apprentice. Electricians are fucking assholes. So like every all working class people are fucking dickheads, and not even in a bad way. I worked with working class people, so I know they're nice people, but like they don't give a fuck. Like one of the most annoying things about like working, like some kind of like a working class. Like when I say working class, I mean like a trade job almost or union job. That's what I mean. Union job guys are so annoying. Because especially union job bosses, because you don't like get treated well based on how much work you do. You get treated well based on how annoying you are, right? Like because these are union guys, and that's what they're used to. They're used to people just bitching and moaning and complaining, and then like you get your way if you bitch and moan and complain enough. And like that's pretty much all the fucking. That's what I worked with. You know, I wouldn't really complain, so I'd get like more fucking shit work. You know what I mean? If you want to advocate for yourself, you have to be ready to be a fucking asshole and like refuse to work even though you should be working. That's like a huge fucking thing. It's actually very strange.
Aside, I know that you actually have had jobs in the past, but you sure do act like you've never came across a difficult situation ever. This was a tame incident that there were no bad feelings over.
He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
We're doing it.
What are you doing?
So awkward and terrible. I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Oh, what in God's name did
fucking ridiculous
Alex Wasabi do to your pituitary gland, Ian? Because you've clearly never had a tyrannical boss if you think Ethan sounds like one in that clip.
No, he doesn't. I've had bosses worse than fucking Ethan, and they weren't tyrannical bosses.
Sure, it's a bad and awkward moment that he apologized for. Big whoop, it's over.
Dan, his producer, is constantly clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke.
God forbid.
What's happening here?
Why?
Because
it's not that big of a deal, man.
Just
like
your inability to.
No, hold on, Dan. How does it change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well,
you just asked how it changed.
Surprise them on your show.
Again, shitty choice of a
Who cares, dude? This is fucking. Who gives a shit?
Clip and a bad out of context example. This is Ethan and Gila's show, and I know this might be a massive revelation out of this world, but fun fact, the H in H3 stands for Hila.
What? Dude, I never even knew. I thought it just was all like laughing. But you know what's funny? It's almost like the fact that people get so offended for the crew is almost like a testament to how fucking well Ethan treats his crew, because he's created such an atmosphere where like they get to talk like they are on equal terms with Ethan so much that when that doesn't happen, when the times that like Ethan's like has to be like, hey, I gotta put my foot down here, people are like, oh wow, this isn't appropriate. It's like, is it? Or are you just conditioned to think that like it's, you know, that they're equal? They're not equal. He lets them talk like they're all equal. That there's no way I didn't get that fucking off. They all talk like they're equal. They're equal people, but they're not equal to like when it comes to the show. Like there are people who work for Ethan. But the fact that you even think that is, in my opinion, because you've been like Ethan treats them so well, so consistently.
And the 3 is meant to represent a backwards E that stands for Ethan. It's
what the fuck? That's crazy. I thought it was just he. So H3 is Hila and Ethan. Wow. My penis orgasmed when I heard that. That's crazy.
Their podcast. Ethan has every right to direct his producers to do what he wants for his show.
Interesting. I never fucking knew that, dude.
Maybe you should take some notes so you can have a more entertaining podcast yourself.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him.
And you understand that the workforce isn't slavery, right? You do understand that a worker has the right to quit their job, and that these crew members working on a high-profile show could quit any day with a fantastic resume and the opportunity to start a career of their own on social media, right? They all make it clear that they disagree with this hole that you and those snark subreddits are trying to place them in. You have snark redditor logic, and it's clear how you researched this video.
Damn. Basically Destiny, am I right, guys? Basically, like Destiny?
What makes demon mode different than goblin mode is goblins aren't really like an intimidating, powerful force.
Excuse me. They are. Okay, goblins are pretty chill, dog.
If the goblin is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm done with the other,
I truly wonder if, and this is like, it doesn't really matter, but it's so funny to me. I wonder if Ian knows that like goblins historically were created as like an anti-Semitic trope. Like they're supposed to represent Jewish people. If you look at the origin of like a goblin, it's supposed to be like this kind of money hungry like little creature, and that's one of the anti-Jewish stereotypes. Yeah, I don't think that it really holds that water anymore. I don't think that people necessarily put 2 and 2 together like that anymore. But that is what it's historically supposed to represent.
The big one that's dropping probably next week, my full attention is going to you, George. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
According to iDubbbz, demon mode refers to Ethan suing people, and this first example is Bad Empanada, aka George, who's already on the run for civil cases as it is. Bad Empanada absolutely deserves a lawsuit. He has knowingly and maliciously slandered Ethan and Hila, has absolutely been harassing Ethan and Hila.
True, I agree.
Has wasted government resources in order to harass Ethan and Hila, and it's certainly easy to prove damages.
3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of
You're doing the classic rich asshole thing, suing people. Having the money to sue people. Rich asshole.
friends. You have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad. You feel hurt. But you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You
can use that money to buy me a hat. Oh, dude, I gotta tell you something about this hat thing, man. I was talking to my wife the other day about it. Because after Ethan had his conversation, so Ethan and I have chatted like very briefly in DMs, like one exchange, nothing crazy, somewhat recently, and then on my days on TikTok, we chatted very briefly again, right? But there was my wife and I do this thing called husband-wife time, where we like we send each other TikToks or Instagram Reels or whatever, and we're about to do husband-wife time, and she's like, "Oh, you messaged Ethan?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it was after the debate." And I'm not going to like show you or anything. But the first thing I did, and my wife saw it, and she's like, "You stupid fuck." Because the first thing I said to him, I said was, "Hats off to you." And then I said, I congratulated him for his conversation with Hasan. But that part's not really relevant. And she's like, "You have to stop with this hat meme." Because she knows that's the only reason I sent that to him, is because I wanted to work in a hats off to you. I'm playing like a long game. I'm playing like a long game of just trolling. And she's like, I find it so annoying. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And she's like, and they probably do too. And it's like, yeah, they probably do. And I was like, that's kind of the point. Like, I like harassing people. I like harassing people. That's like what I like when I do Mr. Lips. When I when I show oh shit. When I show pictures of him kissing people, it's just harassing them. I don't even know if I want a hat at this point. It's me. It's just me. It's just me fucking with them, honestly. Like, it really just is kind of like, oh, I find this funny. I'm just fucking with him. And it's so stupid because I'm sure he hates it so much. And that's such a valid feeling. That's such a valid feeling to fucking hate me for that. But what are you going to do, man? What the hell are you going to do about it? It's just got to do a little harassment.
can use that money to bully and intimidate people.
No, Ian, person who's wealthy enough to run 2 charity boxing events despite the last one.
I don't think he has any money left. I think he's run through it all, to be honest with you. That's not my opinion.
Costing you $250,000 in debt that you had no problem paying off and starting a new one this year. Ethan is not
He could have been successful too. He fucked himself so hard.
Rich asshole pursuing people that he feels with good evidence are slandering him. Moral grandstanding at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. This video was not just critical. Sure, there were some critiques against the Israeli government and one creator who really did deserve the criticism. However, there was so much slander against other creators to create some conclusion that they were all genocide supporters. For those unaware, Noah Samson, the person that Ethan Klein and
Noah Samson's video, famously said he looked at, this is the part that got me, it was crazy. He looked at a moment where there was people doing on the street content talking to, like, it was a lot of them were like far right wing Israelis, and on the street content is very disingenuous because you could find people that say a certain thing and then you could represent a whole group like that. And Noah Samson watches a few different Israeli people that this on the street guy probably spent hours trying to find that had like very negative things to say about people in Gaza. And then he was like, yeah, look at them. And he's like, normally I know you're not supposed to do on the street and like take that as, you know, basically a fact about him, but Jews are different. That was his take. It was like, what the fuck? This guy hates Jews.
Mudahar are preparing to sue is pretty infamous for being bad faith, as Jolly Saint Nicholas Diorio calls him, the Brit Bong of the left. Noah recently made a pretty bad faith video attacking several creators, notably Turkey Tom, Mudahar, and Ethan Klein. The video was titled "The YouTubers Who Backed a Genocide," and
shit, I just got shitted on.
You guessed it, the conflict between Israel and Palestine. In this video, Noah denies several rapes that were committed by terrorists, defended the Houthi terrorists, including the one terrorist that Hasan interviewed on stream that Hasan himself called a terrorist.
Bro, are we about that? Yeah, but now he's just a young man that's never been a terrorist. But if he was a terrorist, it's justifiable, right? That's the Hasan law. By the way, I get it, 19-year-old radicalized, whatever. But Hasan needs to whitewash everything and make it seem like everybody's perfect.
A Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother.
He also defended Twitch's shitty actions on anti-Semitism, and most importantly, concluded that Ethan Klein is pro-genocide for making a video on Hasan Piker where he criticizes the terrorists that Hasan
Not Hasan Parker, dude.
was promoting. This is all despite Ethan Klein saying that the West Bank is fair game and supporting the Palestinian movement in his content nuke on Hasan Piker. He tries
But he's not radical enough, dude. He's not radical enough, dude. That's the whole problem, according to, you know, Mr. Fart.
to paint the picture that because of Ethan's video on Hasan, that Ethan is lying about his support and empathy towards the Palestinian cause. He then goes after creators like Turkey Tom and Mudahar just for criticizing Twitch.
Where did Turkey Tom go, bro? Where did he go? He was streaming a lot and stuff, and then he just kind of stopped. You know, I guess he didn't need them. I guess he decided he wanted to be a little offline. Destiny broke him.
And the golden boy, Hasan Piker.
Hey, have you seen Hasan Piker at all?
Piker? I hardly even knew her. Noah's ultimate conclusion is that all these creators back genocide because they criticize Hasan, which takes a lot of fucking hoops to draw that conclusion. And after watching this dog shit video, I completely understand why Ethan Klein and Mudahar want to sue. I won't get into my opinions on if they should or shouldn't sue, but let's just say I won't exactly feel sad if this scares the shit out of Noah Samson for years, fearing generational debt. Now, before I go any further, it should go without saying that I'm totally against retarded and frivolous lawsuits. However, Ian seems to think that all lawsuits are just used to intimidate people. But in the cases where that is true,
Right at the execute range.
sometimes it's justified. You shouldn't feel confident to slander people. You should feel intimidated at what might happen if you choose to spread malicious libel against people.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think people are very comfortable in like the online slop spaces, we'll call them, of just kind of saying things and expecting a return. So like you say something and then they'll say something, then you respond and they'll respond to, and you just get this continuous escalation. So like somebody will make a crazy claim and then like, that's unjustifiable, but then you go above them. So it makes it seem justifiable by, and you keep going back and forth. Instead, they just decided to sue. That's pretty much it, which I think is a funny play.
Some lawsuits are justified. Hey Ian, a great example of a frivolous lawsuit is the Matt Haas versus H3H3 case. Another one is the one that you threatened Froggy Fresh over $18,000 for after you kicked him out of your event, but didn't pursue because of all the backlash you got. Remember that one?
No, you have a ton of power, you have a ton of options, you have a ton of choice. That's exactly what you get.
But you don't have a ton of empathy, and I'm just oozing empathy.
For being filthy rich.
Someone's mad at the internet. Also, you gotta love this frame, right?
Dude, I hope I become filthy rich. I'm just gonna be fucking real with you, man. You know what I mean? I want to be rich. I want to be rich.
He's screaming at Ethan for being filthy rich while he's got a gold tooth for fashion, looks like dog shit, and thousands of dollars worth of shitty tattoos. Should try to get a refund on that. Sitting in your basement filled with expensive boxing equipment and an arcade machine, talking to us on your expensive camera and lav mic. You have nothing to grandstand on, you fucking cowardly, pathetic little
This game is actually oppressing you right now.
He kept saying that it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that he talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
That's why I said yesterday, like, I urge Ethan to talk to Sam Cedar.
Is it
chosen Jew? He did, and he got fucking Sam Cedar got worked. It was actually exhausting listening to him go,
Not? I mean, maybe not so much racist, but you're definitely patronizing him. That's like telling a black liberal to go talk to the Hodge twins to see why they're wrong. And
True, do it. Just kidding.
seems to have lost the idea that people are people. Like, people of different ethnic groups and cultures can have conversations, dude. And if there's anyone in this situation who cannot take criticism, it's absolutely Hasan Piker. If you dare ever criticize him, you're in for a world of bullshit. He won't watch it, and if your name ever comes up, he'll just isn't this the guy you and disregard you completely.
How can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that
Is this the guy who poops his pants?
Really interesting.
Is this the guy that shotgun shitted into his own underwear?
Ethan, I don't know what to fucking tell you. This is like step one of having a leftist ideology, is recognizing our race, religion, nationality, all this shit, all shape our experiences as people.
Yeah, you don't have to be that guy. That's why you're losing people. Like, I totally understand. Like, I totally understand. Like, this being a white guy definitely had a positive impact on my ability to exist. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I totally get it. You know? But we don't need to be cringe about it. What the fuck? We don't need to be cringe about it. You know, I don't have to sit here and like constantly talk about like, oh, you know, my whiteness, blah, 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 and turn into like this fucking super annoying fuck. You know? You don't need to do all that. Because it's fine to acknowledge these things, but like then when you start harassing other people for it, it's a big turnoff. Then they're like, oh, I don't like this whole leftist thing because it makes it feel like I haven't really worked hard for anything. And it's like, I get it. People work hard. You know, sometimes you have a leg up and you don't realize it, but you don't need it. It's just, it comes off as a shaming tactic. And I think that some of these people use it as a shaming tactic. They don't use it as like a productive tool of like, hey, let's have a conversation when it's relevant. They're like always like, oh, well, oh, well, you're white. Well, guess what? You didn't earn anything. It's like, all right, dude. All right, dude. I definitely earned my diabetes.
This is another rare part of the video where you start to think that Ian might kind of have a point, and then you sit there and you realize that Hasan is categorizing all Jews as to having one opinion, and instead of not doing that, he deflects Ethan off to go talk to the approved Jew, Sam Cedar. So instead of Ian criticizing Hasan for categorizing all Jews as to having one opinion, he decides to criticize Ethan for not talking to the approved Jew. This is so fucking backwards.
It could possibly be someone who shares progressive ideology with you. It could possibly be someone who is of your same gender.
Okay, so all right, the new and improved iDubbbz is now asking you to patronize other ethnic groups, identities, or skin colors, and only talk to your own. I'm so happy that you've reformed, Ian. This is great moves, man. Keep it up. Proud of you.
Great job.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand.
Well, that is him trying to be funny. That's just, so that's not Hasan trying to be funny. That is Hasan trying to rage bait for attention because he's useless outside of rage baiting and like just kind of like slop rage bait. Right? The concept that like America's involvement in the Middle East caused 9/11 is not a particularly hot take, but it is like true. And we can absolutely acknowledge it. He didn't say that. He said we deserved 9/11. And there's a difference in the way that it's perceived. Because in one instance, like what I said, you're like, okay, that's an interesting way to observe it, to kind of like, avoid in the future. The way that Hasan talks about it is like, oh, all those people deserve to die. Right? Like that's the insinuation there. Whether he wants to admit it or not. Because he's trying to rage bait for attention on Twitter. That's what people do now, even to this day, and they used to do.
Would conflate the two. That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case, American imperialism and passionate about a particular.
No, what the fuck is happening? He just defended the 9/11 comment. He just defended the 9/11 comment. Also, by the way, this wasn't some nuanced take by Hasan as he tried to retcon on his uncle's show. This was a crash out. The correct use case of the term, by the way, Ian.
It was Twitter bait for attention. That's what it was. In my IMO.
Because right after the 9/11 comment, he started making graphic remarks about the missing eye of Representative Dan Crenshaw, who was wounded and lost his eye while serving our country in the line of duty.
Didn't he go to war and like literally lose his eye because some mujahideen, a brave fucking soldier, fucked his eye hole with their dick? Isn't that how he lost his fucking dumbass eye? Because he got his fucking eye hole fucked?
I think Israel says it's a place where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews can go? With that slogan, we might actually have peace.
Ian, you're getting really fucking lazy. Where's the counter argument? Also, I love this we shit.
With that slogan, we might actually have peace. If that's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go.
Ian, I didn't know you were Palestinian. Who the fuck is we? Like, since when were you the spokesperson of Palestine?
There was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. God. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
No, Ian, he didn't decide that it was anti-Semitic. It was anti-Semitic. They got banned because it was anti-Semitic. The whole premise of Who Can Say Habibi was almost immediately dropped after it started.
We brought you guys here today because we want to rank streamers on how Arab they are.
The people in that category on the thumbnail? Jews. And besides it being a hummus, Sabra's dictionary definition is a Jewish person born in Israel. Hasan goes in Arab because that's the good tier. But Ethan Klein goes in the Jew category because that's the bad tier. Let me explain.
Yeah, but one of our chosen Jews also made it into the Arab tier. It can't be anti-Semitic then.
This in different terms to make it a bit more obvious for your thick skull, Ian. Let's say I were to make a who's invited to the cookout tier list. And at the top you got loves hip hop, and at the bottom you got white. That's of course the best way I could put it.
Well, no, you wouldn't say white. You'd say like loves mayonnaise or something. You can say the N word at the top and then loves mayonnaise at the bottom. That's what it would be. That's what it would be, boy. Well, you probably shouldn't have used that one, though. You probably should have done one that would be like more resonating. Like at the top has like a high credit score, at the bottom loves chicken or something. Racist, by the way. I'd never say that personally because I'm actually a great empath. There's no lightsaber throw in this fucking game. What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm a great empath. So, I'm a great empath. That's all I have to say.
Without getting in trouble, I think it would be a pretty clear stereotype. And maybe you're just not as culturally sound as you might think you are, Ian.
Lighthearted and fun.
Ethan Klein.
I told you guys about
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one.
That's good.
You guys are missing a category for Zionist.
Bro, that song is awesome, though. Thank you, Ethan Klein. You are my best friend. But we can't be friends anymore till you give me a fucking hat. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
The N-word pass and who doesn't. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle.
Now we get into the big moment of the video. This is where Ian does something whimsical in content cop fashion. This usually leaves an impact on the viewer, whether it be a sketch or him traveling somewhere and doing something comical. So
Sketch, that guy took a wiener in the butt. Like a champ, by the way. Holy fuck. Impressed, honestly. A little turned on.
I'm ready. Let's see what he's got.
And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least.
Okay, then this is kind of silly, but let's see where it goes.
I guess I have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it.
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade.
Wait.
Unfortunately, he wouldn't change it. This was the original. So this was it's just fucking crazy, dude. Was this the one that was in his actual video, or is this the one that he only? Because there was a version of it he gave to. Oh, he gave one to Dr. Honda Civic, a different ending. He gave him the full ending, and then Dr. Honda actually took it down. It's on my video though.
Didn't even do it? Why the hell is this even in the video? What the hell happened to you, Ian? This was so pathetic.
He's oozing with empathy.
Also, including this guy in the video is pretty malicious. It's clear he only heard one side. He quickly took down his video
I don't know. I still don't like that Dr. Honda guy.
On the content cop after Ian reached out and ultimately decided he wanted to stay out of it and just wish the best for everyone. I feel bad for this guy.
Anyone can have their own official apology rating system, so I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-.
Oh, I think that's the score he had gotten.
B-? Wait a sec. This is so petty. You butthurt son of a bitch.
I think something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something
just kiss him on his balls.
Nice and charitable about him, because I think he deserves it.
This is definitely the most manipulative part of the video. Don't fucking act like you care. This retarded concern trolling, getting Ethan's enemies to say something nice. Like, after all the shit Denims has done, do you think Ethan really wants to hear, like, the chipper words from Denims? No. A notable person missing here is Hasan.
I do.
Which I kind of got to give him credit for. Like, at least he's standing on business, unlike Sean DeBlack, who immediately went back on his statement after the video. And I hate to say...
Well, I don't think Hasan even made the statement. I think Hasan, he opted out of making a statement. Right? If I remember correctly? I'm pretty sure that's true. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this thing that I'm saying here. Why else would I say it?
But I think the only genuine person here is Frogan, as she recently doubled down on her well wishes towards Ethan. Don't get me wrong, she's still a fucking piece of shit, but I gotta give credit where credit is due.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neela. Like, fuck, like, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking.
It's hard to be a couple online.
Partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help them.
Me when I don't defend my partner.
Right. Sometimes that
robots.
Them.
What's up, robots?
Oh man, dude, the raped.
Whoa!
Man.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Okay, so don't mind the outfit change. This is recorded about a week after all those other clips. I didn't expect things to keep escalating. A part of me is kind of thankful for it. A part of me wanted to die the second I saw that Content Deputy H3 was uploaded.
Oh, that was fucking hell of a watch, brother. That was a hell of a watch, brother.
Alright, cut the shit, dude. I am so pissed right now. I live reacted to it on stream, and
I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to you, iDubbbz, for all this glorious content. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for paying off my bills. I appreciate it.
Thankfully, there really wasn't that much in there to cover. In this Content Deputy, he hides behind the thin veil of charity, which, by the way, if you watched the first H3 podcast on the Creator Clash, you see how thin that veil is, okay? It was only supposed to be a charitable aspect, but when they're criticized for it, they get to hide behind it.
Ethan, in a desperate attempt to attack and smear Anisa and I, he started attacking our charity event.
Just because...
Our charity event, in quotations. In finger quotes, of course. Because they don't really make any money on that thing. I don't know if you know that.
Because your events for charity, you could still be criticized. And regardless, it doesn't even fucking matter because you didn't raise a dime for charity last time.
Can't wait for them to blame us for their failed event. Don't worry, Hila. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything Creator Clash related. I know you're terrified of taking accountability for anything, so that will rest solely on my shoulders. But I can't speak for
I don't even know what I was referring to. It was weird.
The internet might actually blame you guys for it.
This is psychotic. Ian, The internet is not going to blame Ethan and Hila for Creator Clash 3's inevitable failure. What happened with Creator Clash 2? Was it their fault then? Even though they were the only people fucking promoting the event? The only
Sure, you think that they would... You think that they would... You think that Anisa's husband would have some empathy for the people that were keeping their thing going? Only people that were like nice to them. But also, I had a point that I fucking forgot again. I'm so fucking stupid. You think that they would be nicer? I don't know.
Possible way this event is saved is if Hasan uses a socialist thrift money, but even then, no one's gonna fucking show up. So in this video, Anisa's husband announces that him and Anisa aren't going to be leading Creator Clash anymore because of drama, which is really
they're fucking stupid and decided to cause like drama for fun.
Interesting. And
that's what I was gonna say. I don't think that iDubbbz ever wanted to do this fucking thing. I don't think that he ever wanted to do this event. I don't think he ever wanted to be part of this event. I think that he did it because Anisa wanted to do it, and that's pretty much it. And then once he started doing content cop stuff again, he started getting views again, he got really happy. And I think that's really where it kind of like starts and ends. I don't think that he ever really wanted to do it at all. I think it was just something he did because he felt like, I don't know, because Anisa told him he should do it. That's it.
A lot of thoughts on that, which I'll talk about later.
Recent revelation that people are just going to use Creator Clash to attack Anisa and I. Anisa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous two events.
You guys are still to blame for this fight being barely promoted, for all of this shit failing, and for yet again bringing more drama into the card because you guys don't know how to handle relations behind the scenes, which is very clear, which is probably why you guys...
That is true. It's very clear they don't know how to handle relations behind the scenes. That's why they do OnlyFans. That's a little sexism for you.
Step down.
I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't. I mean, I can. I just didn't want to. I want to be frank. I didn't think I would be an awesome event organizer.
To be honest, if you felt you weren't going to be a good boxing promoter, why did you do it again after failing the last time? It's very funny how you guys are nudging the blame for Creator Clash 3's failure on Ethan and Hila just in case it inevitably fails. But you guys can avoid all accountability because you guys stepped away from the event. I saw this analogy on the internet. It's like the captain of the Titanic after hitting the iceberg, after the ship is fucking in half, saying, oh, this ain't my fault. I'm not the captain anymore. I'm stepping away from being the captain of this sinking ship. You're still to fucking blame. Your event's still gonna fail. And guess what? If your little promoters have any ounce of smarts, this event will never happen again. I won't support Creator Clash.
Well, they obviously want to try to get an ROI for their investors.
For any charity tied to Ian and Anisa. And in the spirit of being an asshole, I'm going to put a fundraiser on this video for cancer research. If you'd like to donate, at least 1 penny would raise...
I don't want to help cancer. I want to fight it.
Well, fuck. More than Creator Clash 2, so feel free. And if you'd like to waste your money, feel free to join my Patreon or become a channel member or fucking throw it at someone else. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, throw it at Papa God. I'm just kidding, guys. You should probably give him you should probably give him your membership because this video is pretty good. I think it was pretty solid. I expect it to be more like content copy and like go through like the more of the history and be a little less about the Ethan and Hila stuff specifically. I thought that was going to be like a part of it, but it's still a solid video. It was a fun watch too.
We're triggered by the CPS harassment thing. And then you immediately equated Anisa and I to it.
No wonder he equated the CPS shit to you. You joined the shitty people and doing the fucking shitty L dance, and you never decided to denounce them when shit was going bad. By the way, I can't even tell if Ian's just fucking stupid or malicious. I'm leaning on malicious, but sometimes the shit he does is just so fucking retarded. He lies and says the CPS call was the same day that H3 decided to call out Ian and Anisa, which is patently false. They didn't call it to the fucking show and raid the show. The reason they reacted the way that they reacted is that when they were messaging you, people like Froggy Tonic and Denims were either directly or indirectly promoting the idea that CPS needed to be called on Ethan and Hila.
Yeah, and they doubled down in that second video. It was fucking dog shit, dude.
When they reached out to you, you guys ignored them. This timeline is all fucked up.
Yeah, and then they made it seem like in that second video that like the calling of the CPS was where everything started. It was just so stupid.
Because Froggy Tonic's tweets talking about Ethan as a father and Denim's reacting to Bad Empanado was all before the CPS call. That's why you were in the discussion. That's why they were trying to reach out to you. You ignored them. That's why they talk shit publicly.
Horseshit. He's lying. Like the whole thing is a fucking...
He's lying.
Lie. He's manipulating his audience. We did not have a close relationship.
How many times are you going to
That's just like so weird. They obviously did have such a close relationship. Why lie about that? It's so strange.
Characterize this friendship. When it's convenient, they're close friends. When it's inconvenient, they're horrible fucking light friends. You guys barely fucking knew each other. Yeah, just one of those friendships where you go to each other's houses and meet each other's families and have dinners and sleep over for weeks on end and make shit tons of content public.
Damn, it's so crazy. I really feel like there's a lot of jealousy from iDubbbz to Ethan for being successful, and instead of just asking for help and advice, he just turns it into this fucking shit show.
go to each other when you need favors for each other's careers. Just one of those little buddy, like tiny little, handshake kind of friendships, you know? He's going to justify the...
Dude, they just hugged me into another hug.
He's going to justify the CPS call. Everyone get ready for the war zone. Thank you, Yoko Ono. That's actually Ian's wife who says that.
To be honest, I'm very proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense. There was this H3 stream where Ethan was dumping as per usual. He was talking...
Which you should never do on any podcast. It's not there for you to talk about your life.
About his own health, his dog having Giardia.
Olive has Giardia.
His
Giardia, something that's very normal, by the way, for dogs to have, especially adopted ones.
Running around, putting things in their mouth.
Which is very normal for children to do.
He's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
The whole family possibly having Giardia.
Oh, and now Ela has Giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough to call CPS. Including Ethan's own chat, which, by the way, is not a measly number.
I could not believe this when I saw this, when Ian decided to justify the CPS call, saying H3's fans were probably the ones behind it. Absolutely not.
Because they called them Kaka Kleins. That shit was fucking funny.
Podcast episode and those chat messages were weeks before the call, A. B, they're clearly joking. I know you've been on live streams before. Chat makes a lot of jokes at people's expenses. That's very normal. And you cannot sit here and...
Kaka Kleins. Fucking Kaka Klein.
Lie and pretend like Denims was not being malicious, Froggy was not being malicious, and Bad Empanado was not being malicious when they were sharing that shit about Ethan trying to relitigate the situation.
But sharing the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Situation and make it into something it wasn't. At that point, Giardia had already been debunked.
I don't trust you, and I'm glad I didn't trust you, because in your video defending yourself, you used a video that takes context from like 3 different places and combines them to make it seem like someone is coordinating an attack on you.
You do the same thing as Ethan by showing the chats?
Including Ethan's own chat.
That's clearly an edit, okay? You compiled chats, so did Ethan. Anyone with a brain can recognize that that's an edit. That's not the actual chat going over top the screen. Like, the call was clearly a malicious attempt to harass Ethan. Anyone with a brain can easily recognize that. I guess Ian agrees with Bad Empanada, so that's something. Also, notice how he doesn't mention the human skulls in this video because that doesn't fit that, oh, it's his fans harassing him.
Or I can show that your tattoo made it to the top of awful taste but great
Damn, that's not nice, too. I think it's a lovely tattoo.
Execution subreddit.
Not as cool as a fucking eagle, though. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Which is not a good thing. I mean, it might be a good thing for the artists that you work with because that means that they did a good job from a technical standpoint, but it's sort of a failure in every other aspect.
Oh, so now you're going to attack his wife. After you've cried for years about people making fun of your wife, you have now opened your wife to a world of criticism from an entirely new audience, and believe me, there's a lot of subject matter. And I'm making this video because you don't understand why.
Yeah, but they wouldn't go that low because it would be fracturing for their audience if they started being a little too rude to the old SWs.
You're worthy of criticism. I also like how you don't show the real ratio. You just show the one for IDubbbz complaints. That's really secure of you, Ian.
Stop! You violated the law.
Now we're going to talk a bit about Creator Clash, the boxing
Guys, what if instead of called Creator Clash, it was called Creator Poop?
event started by Anisa's husband. Creator Clash is an influencer boxing event meant to
Look at Anisa's husband, is so funny.
Gather in a bunch of creators that you wouldn't expect to get in the ring to fight it out, all for charity. The first one was a major success, raising over $1 million for charity, and even every fighter got a bonus, but they didn't have enough to pay Airsoft Fatty, apparently. It wasn't...
I don't know if that's true or not. I heard somebody had said that they actually did pay him or something. I don't know. The whole thing's a convoluted mess. I feel like Airsoft Fatty's video was like somewhat unreasonable, but then again, Kaka Kleins, you know what I'm saying?
Without controversy, however, as Ian banned Sam Hyde, someone who helped one of the other fighters, Harley Morenstein, train for the event and was a subject of one of Ian's documentaries. He ended up refunding $10,000 worth of tickets that could have gone to charity to Sam. However, this success...
Yeah, Sam could have also just donated that to charity if he wanted to. Like, that was obviously like a malicious thing. I'm not exactly shitting my pants over that.
Did not translate over to the next event. They ignorantly and stupidly assumed that the sequel event would garner more success than the original event. They took no anti-power...
Again, I think it's fine. I think it's fine that they didn't want Sam Hyde there. He doesn't look good for like the event. I don't think that's like the whole reaction. That's what he wants it to be like. Oh, I'll give you $10,000 for charity if you let me show up, and then be like, well, we can't have you there because he's a brand risk, and it could have really ruined the event. Though like that negative attention probably did have a negative impact on the event. It made sense the call that he made, and it made sense if you're going to play the long game, right? Like if you're going to play the long game and you're going to do if you're playing the long game, like, okay, Creator Clash 2 didn't do well, but 3 can do well because they didn't have any controversy with with Sam Hyde in that one. He didn't like have his sights on them, so it would have been fine. But instead, he decided to fucking create another controversy, despite the fact that that was obviously very bad for the platform. Okay.
Piracy measures, booked a much bigger venue, the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium, added 4 more fights to the card, paid top dollar for a professional wrestler who isn't even an influencer to fight on the card. They added special parties like galas and photo opportunities before and after the event, and they paid
Doesn't really make sense to go even bigger this year. It's kind of silly, especially since they didn't raise any money on stream. Like, I don't understand why iDubbbz didn't just convert his channel into a channel that explicitly would have focused on always promoting the event. Like, do reruns, do highlights. Like, why wasn't it something to, replay some of the fights, or I don't know, do something. A podcast, like a post podcast, or this or that. Where is all that?
For the flights of many big creators who weren't even fighting on the event.
That's the brand risk, not the free fights for Hasan. Yeah, true. This was even bigger brand risk. This was an even bigger brand risk, I feel like, too.
And guess who got paid flights to the event? Denims, Hasan, the whole crew. And can I say, when you're operating at a loss, you can tend to see that pattern really early on. When you have to pay for that $20,000 comedian, in the end, they came out with a $250,000 deficit to their bank accounts and 0 money for charity. Ian tried rectifying this by doing a charity stream, but only ended up raising $162,000 out of the $250,000. That's not even an iDubbbz empathy meter worth of what they raised last time. On top of all of that, Ian caused a lot of controversy before the event, causing a lot of people to try to refund their tickets before they disabled that ability by kicking Froggy Fresh off the card over some dumb Twitter drama and collaborating with Sam Hyde.
Yeah, again, I mean, it makes sense for him to do that.
Mind you, Harley Morenstein...
He fucked up this year because he's a stupid asshole.
The previous year had also collaborated with Sam Hyde. So this was pretty shocking to a lot of fans. One of the reasons I brought that up is because Ian had such a problem with Froggy being friends with Sam Hyde and collaborating with him, but does not understand why Ethan wants people associated with him condemned who have done all this shit to him. Another YouTuber, Jadion, even offered $100,000 to fund Creator Clash if Ian just let Froggy Fresh fight, which Ian declined. This means on top of all of their expenses, they had to pay for another fighter as well. That same fighter pummeled the fuck out of Chris Raygun because their weight and height difference was pretty major. Now let me be clear, the event was fun. I went and I had a great time. I got to meet lots of creators and get to reconnect with a lot of people that I hadn't seen in years. Plus I got to make new friends. I even met Hasan. It was a fun event and I don't regret going. With all that said,
how was he? Was it fun? Was Hasan a nice guy in person?
You don't screw up charity. Does
he have a nice penis? Did you see it?
Calling this boxing event charity is pretty misleading. It implies that there is no for-profit element whatsoever. Anisa...
that doesn't imply that to me, but the newest one definitely isn't a charity case because they're not going to make any money for charity.
And Ian had a mask-off moment on the H3 podcast.
And we kind of want it to be like a Super Bowl, like every year.
Do you want to do it again?
Yeah.
I see.
If it works out, then we can do that, and there could always be a charity aspect to it. But I think the main goal is just to get the people.
It's unfortunate because they don't actually raise money for charity, and they call it a charity event. It's fucking wild.
Paid who are involved in making it happen.
You'd think if they wanted to right their wrongs and ask for a second chance at charity, they would downsize a bit. And sure, they did that fighter-wise, but maybe...
It makes sense optically to not necessarily downsize. It just doesn't make any sense to upsize.
Less dinners, less galas and shit before and after the event. Maybe don't re-rent the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium that you couldn't even fill last time. And also maybe don't jeopardize your event by putting one of your fighters who is from one of the biggest promotion opportunities that you've had at your past 2 events in a shitty situation like you've just done. A little update on the situation. So one of the main card fighters, Harley Morenstein from Epic Mealtime, dropped out. Why did he drop out? Well, one of the reasons was because when he agreed to fight, they agreed that all fighters would be getting paid the same amount. But when
That's weird. Why would they want them all to get paid the same? I guess he's just being a nice guy, but I feel like it makes more sense to give the main ticket people more money, no? Does it not?
Harley talked to his opponent, LA Beast. Turns out he was getting paid more. Another reason is Harley felt...
Oh, well, I feel like it makes sense for like the opponents, I guess, to make the same. But interesting. Is that the only reason why? Because I saw him... I imagine that's like a factor. But I also saw him talk about... I think he actually... Young Blood here. I think he actually showed us what Harvey said earlier, no? When he was on PKA podcast.
Quite uncomfortable with this whole drama, with Ian seeming to side with pro-terrorist and pro-Hamas people like Hasan, Denims, and Frogan. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, I don't know if you could tell by the fucking last name, but Harley Morenstein is a Jew!
I didn't even know that, dude. Holy fuck.
The main card of this fight was not meant to be Israel versus Palestine.
I thought his last name was Time. Epic mealtime.
It was supposed to be Harley versus LA Beast. He was also quite uncomfortable with the use of the swastika sword in the content cop. And unfortunately, shortly after, Lena Ayad from the H3 podcast, the wife of AB, decided to drop out as well. And what's really...
I mean, it makes sense, dude. You gotta, hey, ride or die for your business, baby. Ride or die. Woo!
fucked up about that is, as I said, if Ian had a spine, he would buy her out. He didn't, and that's fucked up. But thankfully...
That's really fucked up, dude. Anisa's got to do triple time on her OnlyFans to be able to afford it, you know?
Ethan did decide to cover the costs that Lena and AB were going to face because Ian decided not to buy them out, which is nice.
And Harley seems like a good guy. He seems like a nice young man.
Creator Clash 3 will likely fail, and I won't be supporting it. However, I will...
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I almost hope it fails because it'll be funny. Which is terrible because it's a charity event, but it also isn't, right? You can just raise money doing other things. And they've never really... I feel like they've... I don't know. He's never really... Actually, it all makes sense now. He never has really wanted to fully commit to this whole Creator Clash thing because if he did, then he would have actually been using his main channel to, like... He would have just changed it into a podcast or something or done something that would have been more relevant to it. But I think that this was like Anisa's big idea. And iDubbbz is just kind of along for the ride.
We'll be rooting for Lena on the sidelines. Maybe if shit hadn't hit the fan and there was better marketing, I would have ended up going again. However, given the fact that the UFC and Jake Paul are also having fighting events the same night across
everybody's fucking country, everybody's competing for it. It's funny.
And that VidCon is literally the week before all the way across the country, I don't see much success here. And those ticket sales are not looking too good. I'll paraphrase something that Nicholas Diorio said. If you want to support charity, donate directly. If you want to waste money, donate to me.
Anisa and I have decided...
That's fair. That's good advice.
To step away from Creator Clash, we have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous two events. They're very capable. They know exactly what they're doing. They run events on a regular basis.
You think that this was like consensual or even their idea, or do you think that they're like, hey, listen, we kind of have to ask you to walk away because you've really, shit fucked this whole event for us?
The event is still happening. Anisa and I just don't have any financial ties. We don't have any ownership.
Maybe they don't have any financial ties, because I feel like, well, how would they walk away without having financial ties? Maybe I don't know, they fucking botched the event so bad. Maybe the company was like, listen, you relinquish your financial ties and you won't be held accountable for any like potential financial issues with this event.
We are, I think just going to be known as the founders of the event.
Another grand idea that Ian had was to give the event to the people who ran the last two events.
The founding fathers, baby.
Were they a part of the financial decisions to run all those galas, buy out the hotels, get the comedian and all that other shit? I'd like to see the finances. Were they a part of those shitty financial decisions? Let's see some accounting. And speaking of accounting, I find it extremely suspicious that you claim that you're not getting any financial benefit from this. You made a big investment to make this event and you're just not going to get anything back from it?
It does make sense.
I don't buy that for a fucking second.
I could buy it again if they made the potentially if they said, hey, you just relinquish all rights and we won't have you be part of the debt, but then you also wouldn't be part of the profit, It's
just not how finance works. You are most certainly getting your investment back if you have any smarts whatsoever, and if not, I just find it extremely suspicious. Let's see some fucking accounting, because I don't believe that for a second. You've proven to be malicious. You might not be gaining anything financially, but you sure as hell have to be getting your investment back, which means less money for charity. You also gotta love this characterization that it's because of drama and not that Ian and Anisa did anything wrong. You guys fucked up the last event. You fucked this event, but it's not your fault. It's all H3's fault. You guys are free from any blame. It's because of everyone else. You're just so fucking spineless, dude.
You bringing up Lena dropping out of the fight was you publicly showing to your fans, like, I don't approve of this. You were saying this.
Oh no. Why would he approve of it? You're just saying you don't approve of this. Yeah, why would they?
Shit before the content cop even came out.
Which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out.
But now you were saying that you didn't have a problem with any of it until I made the video.
I was totally on
yeah, sure.
board until the organizer put out a video calling me a psychopath. You already forced Lena into this horrible situation. And again, you forced this situation on her.
Why would I do such a thing to Lena? Dude, you have as much agency as I do.
What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude.
You have no fucking place to blame Ethan for the Lena situation. Why did Harley drop out then? Was that Ethan's fault too? It's because you're a horrible fucking boss. To wrap up this video, we're gonna take...
Well, yeah, they can't take accountability. That's a problem.
Take a look at what growing and changing looks like. Losing all sense of irony, not pushing vulnerable people's buttons unless it's beneficial to your career. Don't morally grandstand unless you've grown and changed. Harassment is bad, with one exception. Racism is bad, but anti-Semitism is okay. It's okay if you promote terrorists, but not if you condemn them. America deserved 9/11. Either all of them are okay or none of them okay? No, but some of them are.
America deserved 9/11, but only the Italians deserved that part. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible. I love
Having
Italians.
money.
They're probably the only people that really showed up because they're all the police and shit.
Is bad. I'm being a bit facetious. However, it is pretty clear that while, yes, Ian has changed, it doesn't seem like he gained any empathy for anyone other than himself. In fact, I almost argue that Ian is more bigoted now than he ever was. Like, at least before he had the...
Yeah, well, you know how white people do be. White people be like, oh, I want to feel justified in being racist.
excuse of just making a joke, but also...
As long as it's safe racism, baby. As long as it's safe racism, you know?
Throughout his recent video, he was patronizing all kinds of groups of people.
I think that people just like to be hateful, you know? Not Papa God. I like to be loveful and full of empathy.
As for Anisa, I don't think Ian's change is entirely her fault. I think they have an equal role of this retardation. Hey! Anisa's problem is Anisa. She's extremely unlikable and always has been.
And Ian gives no pushback because he's a coward.
See something in her, and I guess good for him, but take one look at her Twitter and see why people feel the way they feel about her. She does herself no favors. Ian, if you're going to be upset with Ethan wanting you to speak out, maybe don't give him a reason to be upset by openly endorsing Froggy Tonic and Denims after what they did, making it clear whose side you're taking on your podcast, or make a 1-hour video shitting on the guy. Now, as someone who has benefited from the use of therapy, I gotta say that this weaponization and reliability of therapy is extremely fucking annoying and overdone. At this point, it's beyond concern trolling. Can I just say, if I was deeply depressed and thinking about getting help, and I saw this latest video of Anisa's husband recommending therapy to me, I would run away. His latest video is anti-therapy propaganda. Finally, the last point I'll mention on this episode.
It's kind of true. Like, they obviously weaponize it. I think that they just think it makes them superior because, like, oh, we're getting help. It's like, okay, like, that's cool. It just makes you come off like, it's just obnoxious. It's just fucking obnoxious the way that they they talk about it all the time. It's like, oh, get help, get help, get help. I mean, not for nothing, but constantly telling people to get help. It's like the same thing. You might as well just call people like a fucking slur at a certain point. You just keep saying getting help, get help. It's just, you just call them a slur because you're trying to just say that they have like some kind of fucking mental problem. So you might as well just call them a fucking slur at a certain point. Jesus.
Episode is about the series itself. Content Cop was always meant to be a little bit funny. However, in this latest one on H3, I think I audibly chuckled only a few times, and most of it was because of jokes that Ethan was making in the clips. There was only one occasion where one of Ian's jokes actually landed. In conclusion, being pro-Palestine or making charity events does not absolve you of criticism. And I can't find a person more worthy of criticism than iDubbbz. But that's going to do it for today's episode of Content Cop. If you have any recommendations or if you want me to keep going, just let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to see some of my sources, the links are in the description below. Please check them out, okay? They've done some great work. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
All right. Beautiful stuff.
I was morally grandstanding.
I think, and look at that. We beat the boss right then. Wow. Beautiful. The timing is incredible. The force is with us. If only Hasan was here to see the force happen, maybe he would actually validate it happening. But unfortunately, pics, or it didn't happen. End scene.